Looking to improve your diet in the new year? Try seeing a personal dietitian with Nourish. Nourish has hundreds of dietitians who specialize in a variety of health concerns, including weight loss, gut health, and more. Meet with your dietitian online and message them anytime through the Nourish app. Nourish accepts hundreds of insurance plans. 94% of patients pay $0 out of pocket. Find your personal dietitian at usenourish.com. That's usenourish.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With nonstop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation by offering comfortable and spacious cabins. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
Hey, anyone know what channel the game's on? We know. Download the Sports on What app today and always know how to watch the game. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Subscribe today to start your 7-day free trial. Sports on What? We know.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, we've all heard the saying, don't knock it till you try it. And that's why singer Rick Springfield is knocking ketamine. You see, he tried it to help with his depression, but he didn't like it. So no more ketamine for Rick. He also tried microdosing acid. Now that he liked. And now Rick, he microdoses regularly. Then there's a 105-year-old woman in Britain who never had the opportunity to go to a rave. She's always liked to dance, but never went to a rave. So her nursing home threw her one. It even included, keep in mind, she's 105 years old, it even included a Jägermeister pop-up bar. This lady likes to roll. Anyway, she loved it and says she would do it again. I once had a threesome. I would absolutely do it again. Even my wife is down with the idea. We just have a strong disagreement about who the third person should be. See, I'm thinking like Mila Kunis. She's thinking Shamar Moore. It's a work in progress. We'll keep you updated. But there's also those things that people have tried once and instantly knew that it was not for them. In fact, there was a Reddit discussion about it, and it covered everything from rollerblades to gambling to anal sex. Her comment was great, but I edited that part out. Anyway, all of this leads to today's question, brought to you by our friends at Advanced Hair Restoration. Today, we want to know, what is the thing you did one time, and would you do it again?
To be a part of the big show, call 206-803-ROCK. Like KISW on Facebook, follow us on X and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. You know what's sneaky? A bunch of big corporations buying up local companies you know and love, gutting them, and keeping the name. But you know who's not a sellout? Pinky's Plumbing. That's right. Pinky's Plumbing's values start with their work ethic, honesty, how they treat their employees, and how they care for their customers. Bigger isn't always better, and that's a fact. You should know you're working with a locally owned company that truly values where they live and work. Pinky's Plumbing. Pinky'sPlumbing.com.
Hiring is a lonely business. Posting jobs, sifting through resumes, interviews with unqualified applicants, being ghosted. What if you could link with dozens of qualified candidates who are ready to work right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, the workforce you need. Problem solved. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
Where'd you get those shoes? Easy. They're from DSW. Because DSW has the exact right shoes for whatever you're into right now. You know, like the sneakers that make office hours feel like happy hour. The boots that turn grocery aisles into runways. And all the styles that show off the many sides of you, from daydreamer to multitasker and everything in between. Because you do it all in really great shoes. Find a shoe for every you at your DSW store or DSW.com.
What is... Dax, are you?
Tracking all our cars on Carvana Value Tracker on all our devices? Yes, Kristen, yes I am.
Well, I've been looking for my phone for...
In Dax's domain, we see all. So we always know what our cars are worth.
All of them?
All of them. Value surge, trucks up 3.9%.
That's a great offer.
I know. Sell?
Sell.
Track your car's value with Carvana Value Tracker today.
Plug in a Hyundai EV and the extraordinary happens. From the charge time and range in the Ioniq 5 and 6 to the adventurous spirit of the Kona Electric to the 601 horsepower Ioniq 5N. Hyundai EVs make the extraordinary electrifying. There's joy in every journey.
EPA estimated 303-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 5 SE SEL Limited rear-wheel drive and 361-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 6 SE long-range rear-wheel drive with fully charged battery. Actual range may vary. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Oh, Patrols, away we go. Welcome to Season 20, Episode number 4,271. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. This oh-so-positive Friday.
Hell yeah.
Guaranteed future review. What a late night we had, Ted, coming up with tongue twisters for Ted versus the FCC.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Then coming today, and on my desk, now normally when Veggie Dog leaves stuff on my desk, it's work that I need to do later on in the afternoon.
Got to read a commercial.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I always look at it and go, oh, God, not again. You know, I always have this negative. It's really not that big of a deal. It takes every bit of, the
2 minutes.
Time it takes to read it.
Yeah,
but I'm always just like, oh, my God, cannot believe, when am I going to have the time? Well, today, he drops his own Ted versus the FCC on my desk.
A VD created Ted versus.
It is. Now, if you've listened to the program anytime this week, at one point we were doing birthday emails. And someone had a request for Coach Ted.
Yes.
You know Coach Ted. He's the guy that gives you some positive advice.
Positive advice. Get in there. The only mistakes that we don't learn from him.
Coach always gives positive advice for people, no matter what their age, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You could be 9 and playing soccer.
You could be 90.
You could be 90 and not playing soccer. Either way, Ted's going to tell you what's up. Well, I do it a lot, but I stumbled upon my words. And I ended up saying Coke Ted.
Yes, Coke Ted.
Coke Ted. Coked out.
So you did a version of what you believe to be, and you've never done cocaine.
Never.
We didn't tell people that. It's honest to God truth. But hypothetically, if you were, Coke Ted, you just kind of go off.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all coked up.
Yeah, you're all coked up. Okay? So,
I know exactly which place I'd be at in White Center.
Right. So, VD wrote you a Ted versus the FCC based on Coke Ted.
Oh, really?
Coke Ted.
Yes.
Okay.
And not only that, Coke Ted shows up, I believe, a couple times coming up today in the birthday
I saw
emails at about 4:20, somewhere in there is when we do the birthdays, 4:20 to 4:25. So you're going to get a couple versions of Coked Up Ted today. But our Ted versus the FCC at 4:35 is going to be about Ted and can he quit coke? And can't he? He snorts coke, sucks coke, sits, shifts, sits, cuts, shakes, shouts, I can't cut coke on the clock.
Jesus.
So
it's a long year.
It is. You're going to get into the world of Coke Ted. Coming up on Ted versus the FCC again. That's on the way at 4:35.
I just found out today the old McDonald's coffee stirrers were discontinued. Because people are using it for Coke. Because it was a tiny little spoon on the end.
Oh, no way.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that.
I mean, yeah, I knew that.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Discontinued.
Yeah, man.
What a bummer. Okay.
It's like that weird look when you're like, no, I need this little salt spoon.
Right, exactly.
But you have no salt. Oh, I do.
Yes.
You ever go to a bathroom, I won't say of what kind of restaurant or bar, but I remember one time picking one up and going, what size drink does this straw even help?
We will drink and toast into the weekend with the shot of the day that it's Bad Choice Friday.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
Jam on.
right, today it's a dealer's choice, men's room dealer's choice, bad choice Friday. Basically, you're voting for myself, Ted, or Steve. We've all picked songs that we believe would be appropriate for this Friday afternoon. Sunny Seattle today. So we picked one of our personal favorites. You have no idea what it is. You just picked the member of the men's room you trust the most with their musical taste based on your own, your love of music and what you kind of have figured out from listening to us for years on this radio program. Who do you think picks the song that basically you think is going to do the best job based on what you like?
Yeah.
Okay?
I will say, I know all of them. You can't lose today.
You cannot lose.
In my mind.
All right.
I don't know if you guys like my song, but I like Thrill's song. I like Miles' song a lot.
All right. So if you follow us on X, the Men's Room Live, we've got the poll up, and just simply vote for the member of the men's room that you believe is going to deliver. Coming up at 5 o'clock on Bad Choice Friday. And our question today, we're going to talk about things that you did one time, and would you do it again? And we start with a story about Rick Springfield. Now, Rick Springfield in the 80s was a huge star. Now, he started out being basically the hottest guy in daytime TV soaps.
Was he General Hospital?
He was a doctor on General Hospital. I believe he was either born in Australia and maybe raised in the United States. I don't think he spent a lot of time in Australia, but they always billed him as Australian actor, Rick Springfield. Now, unbeknownst to my mother, who was in love with him, and everybody else who watched General Hospital and daytime soaps, Rick Springfield not only was a great actor, he was also a pretty good musician and guitarist.
Yeah, Jesse's Girl.
Jesse's Girl. And he
Wish I had Jesse's Girl.
And he started that pop career, which almost basically made him more famous, and he was a bigger star on the musical end than he was on the, the acting end of things. So his career basically just...
Well, it's the first time dudes had actually heard him.
Yeah.
Right? So he put out the song. I was a kid, but I'm like, this is a cool song. Who's this Rick Springfield guy? And my mother's like... He's the guy on General Hospital. I'm like, no way. And then I finally saw him. I'm like, okay, that's him.
Yeah, he had a number of hits. Don't Talk to Strangers was one that was a pretty big one for him back in the day. Jesse's Girl, obviously, is probably the one.
That's the one everybody knows.
That you know more than anything. He had a song called Human Touch, Affair of the Heart. But he had probably 5 or 6 tunes that were big-time songs. Now, so... 10 years ago, 12 years ago, Hair Club comes to the office, and he's like, do you guys have any interest in interviewing Rick Springfield? If he comes, we're like, hell yeah.
Of course,
Rick
man.
Springfield. Rick Springfield, yes, we will definitely talk to Rick Springfield. So lo and behold, a couple weeks go by, and in walks Rick Springfield. Tall dude. Probably in his late 60s at this point in time.
Still the best looking dude in the studio.
Oh, my God. This guy comes in, and the nicest, most decent human being, told us a bunch of cool stories.
He was awesome, man.
Great hanging out with him, man. I mean, I think we played Jesse's Girl that day and, did our thing. But, man, when he walked out, I was like, wow, dude.
I know. It's Rick Springfield, bro.
Rick Springfield. Now, keep in mind, we've interviewed, Ozzy was just in a couple weeks before. But I think the buzz was more about the fact that we got a chance to talk to Rick Springfield.
Because he's a talkative guy. Yeah. And his stories are great. And like you said, he was super nice. And with Ozzy, you just can't believe you're sitting next to Ozzy, but you pay so much attention because he's hard to understand.
Sure.
So it's not like fun to interview Ozzy. It is awesome to do it, but it's not fun. Where Rick just came in and said, you can talk about anything you want.
And you know what, man? In the world that we've experienced where, it's okay to not be okay. Before all that, Rick Springfield, when he came in and said, like, man, I've struggled. Yeah. In my lifetime, like, how could you struggle?
You're a good-looking dude. You're a millionaire. Chicks want to be with you. All that.
You have everything in the world. And he still was just kind of like, yeah, but that doesn't change the fact that, I have bad times, too. And
I suffer from depression. So
sure.
I recognize
that at some points he was the butt of a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people would, not confuse him, but, there's Bruce Springsteen, there's Rick Springfield.
Right.
Those a lot of pulling in between those two names to create different crap. But he couldn't have been a nicer guy. He is 75 years old now, so I'm assuming at the time he was about 65 years old. Looked every bit of 50.
He's got those Stamos genes in him, man.
Yeah, but he said, man, I'll be honest with you. He looked like he could be Chris Cornell's twin brother.
Yeah, he really did.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. They basically had the same build. They were the same height. They had the same natural looks. But he's been battling depression, he said, since he was a teenager. And he has found a brand new treatment, microdosing LSD.
Yep.
Which I discovered not too long ago myself.
Stop.
I don't know if you consider
That is not microdosing what you're doing.
I macro dose.
Yes, you macro
That's
dose.
going to be.
You're doing a half.
I'm doing like a fourth.
Yeah, still.
But I can't find the damn. I can't find the paper anymore. The blotter.
Oh, right.
It's all now. It's like in a gel cap and crap, and you can't really divide it like you used to. It's hard for me to find the little ones. They just came in the squares. You know what I mean? They were perforated. Not sure where that stuff went. What I would do is I would take those back in the day and take my toenail clipper scissors and cut them into fourths, and then take a little corner. If I was out and about doing things, like maybe playing golf someplace.
But that's 1/4. Generally, if you're microdosing something, it should be at least 1/16.
Right. 1/16. Okay, I'm way.
You are not microdosing.
I'm way over that. All right, but
you're just tripping, man.
Yeah, but not. Yeah, but actually not that intense. And it was only for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
You just really had a nice little buzz. You're just smiling all the time. You can't stop smiling. Can't stop smoking cigarettes, that's for sure. And you can't stop pouring beer down your throat.
Laughing, joking.
Everything's easy. The beers are just flowing so nice.
Sure.
You feel great. And it really is. Like, I have enjoyed LSD in my lifetime. I'm just not at the age anymore where I don't want to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
I don't want that intensity where I'm just kind of like having a hard time settling in.
Yeah.
So this is perfect for me because I can go to bed at a reasonable hour. I'll take a hit at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. Walk around, do an urban hike, whatever I'm doing. Clear my head. When I'm done, I feel great. Now, conversely, on that same tip, years ago, my buddy was kind of experimenting with a number of things. And he was a roommate of mine, and with Native American heritage, not 1/16. Like he was.
Everyone's 1/16.
Right, he was.
Right.
He was Native American.
When I grew up, everybody's part Cherokee.
And his thing
always Cherokee.
Always Cherokee.
Everyone is 1/16, and it's like there were no other tribes.
In my area, it was Mohegan.
Did you actually go Mohegan?
Well, he is.
But he actually is,
he's
though.
Mohegan,
I'm saying all the fake people will tell you Cherokee. Even when I lived in Rochester, the Iroquois tribe, right? They dominated the area. There's still a 1/16 Cherokee. I'm like, Jesus Christ, no, you're not.
I mean, my whole neighborhood was based off native names, right? Like, I grew up on Kennesaw Street.
Right.
Iroquois was like a block over.
We lived in Monongahela, on the Monongahela River in Monongalia County. All these names you can't pronounce, Yakagani. I mean, if you're driving through that area, good luck reading an exit sign.
I mean, the park I grew up playing in, off Rhode Island Avenue, ended up getting shut down when I was like in high school because somebody started digging around a little bit. It was like, you guys built this on a burial site.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, think Squim, but everywhere.
Right.
Like every single name is one of those where you go, how in the hell do you say that? But so he was getting into more, just when we got into college, he was taking history classes and so basically, long story short, we get to the point where we're going to do peyote. All right, because he wants to do this. Right. I'm on board. I'm in. All right. So about 3 of my buddies and Brett did it all together one night. And the way it goes down is you take a button, so to speak.
Right.
And then you just sit there for a second. And then before you know it, time kind of starts to just not be there for whatever reason. And then you get sick.
Yeah, I've heard that.
We had and he knew this. He said, "Look,
sure.
We're all going to throw up." Apparently, so we had our kitchen trash can in the middle of the living room with a new bag in it because we thought, if we have to throw up, better just to get up in the living room.
Yeah.
If we can't throw up, and then so we don't have to run to the bathroom or whatever the deal is.
Correct. You don't know if you're going to be able to move.
So we're sitting there, and my buddy Craig just starts laughing his ass off. And he's like, uh-oh, man. He's like, he's like, you guys feeling this? I'm like, a little bit, man, but not really yet. And Craig gets up and blah, blah. And he stands up and he's like, well, I'll feel better now. I was like, all right. And I'm up next. I'm like, oh, my God, I just did And then everybody else threw up. So then we take our bag of puke and we tie it up. And we throw it in the dumpster at the apartment complex next door. I did that. I walked back in and I'm like, you guys got to walk outside, man. It's crazy. Because we were doing this in the middle of the day. And, I mean, it was bright. So then the sunglasses go on. And, I mean, everything kind of looks like a 3D movie. You live in 3D, but I cannot describe.
But somehow it's like more 3D.
You kind of almost walked into this animated world of cartoons, but real, but like you're in Shrek. I can't describe. We didn't want to leave too far from the house. But it was so intense. It was one of those things where it's more of a spiritual journey than anything else. There are times you just need to sit down. There are times that you don't realize that 45 minutes has just gone by.
Right.
It's certain little things will freak you out, so to speak. Like
what?
Oh, the cat jumped up on my lap, and
that was no good.
I'm just like, dude, what are you doing?
Get off of me!
Not now. Kneading me and doing all the things the cats do and looking up at me, and I'm like, do you know I'm tripping on peyote? And just
the cat's probably like, yes, I do.
Strange thing.
Yeah.
So then we decided to take a hike, and the next thing you know, we're walking along the railroad tracks, down by the river. We have a destination. We're going to go through the Arboretum in downtown. What happens on train tracks, Ted?
There's strange people, and then trains come.
Trains, yes.
Yeah.
Didn't think of that real well because there's not a lot of room in certain parts.
I mean, I don't care
'Cause it's
which.
on the river,
I don't
so
care
there's
if
a
you're
cliff
on
on one
something
side.
or sober. Walking on the train tracks just sounds bad.
But here's what you got to remember: it's the quickest way to get there. It's a mountainous area. We don't want to walk over to we don't want to walk over Patterson Hill. If you walk on the railroad tracks, it's a straight shot because it's on the river.
Right.
It's flat. We can walk right into town, no problem. So we get on there, and of course, within we all dive down in the bushes, man, and this train goes by, and we're all like looking at it. And that train had to be, I swear to God, 9 miles long. It just took forever to get by. We're just sitting there watching it, and, well, maybe we can jump on, blah, 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 blah.
Bad idea.
Blah, blah, blah. It was one of those days where it was, but here's the thing. I did it. I would never do it again, just based on the intensity of how crazy that buzz was and just how I did not feel like I was completely in control.
Right.
I mean, I was in control of my body, but I was not in control of my mind, which makes your body function.
Right.
So you need some connection there, and mine was severed. It seemed like that's kind of how it worked. Like, I was at one point in time, I remember going like, I'm so thirsty. And Brett's like, well, just go into the 7-Eleven right in front of it and get something to drink. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get something to drink in there, man.
Well, it's odd as you're on like a spirit quest, but you're in a town.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Outside of a 7-Eleven.
Just walking through the middle of
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I did not know where this thing was going to take us. We did walk through the woods on the train tracks to get downtown. But by the time we got downtown, everything is open. It's a bustling Saturday afternoon. Sure. It was sunny that day. People are out. Now it gets weird because just trying to walk into regular establishments, which we were going to, that's why we were going. Going to go down to Gibby's, going to get a couple pitchers of beer, hang out for a while in a booth in the back, chill out, come up with a game plan.
Right.
I mean, we get in there. Every single person in that bar knows us.
Oh, of course.
Everyone we know.
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell it happened. It's like a surprise. We knew you were on peyote and coming here. And I mean, so everyone starts talking to us. People start pulling up chairs. What are you doing later on? And we are just.
You're barely holding on.
Right. We're barely holding on. Like I'm sipping on a water before there's a pitcher of beer there. Everything is suspicious looking as hell. But I powered through. But it was 12 hours. I mean, it was.
I bet.
It was again until about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. You don't eat during that time.
Right.
You just forget that food exists. It's amazing the journey your mind goes through on helping you close certain doors. But the problem with closing those doors is it opens them. So while you're in the middle of a bar, you might be going through a very traumatic memory about something that's really affected you for your entire life. And that door just opened up in a bar.
Right.
You know what I mean? If your dog ever ran away from home, if your uncle ever beat the crap out of you, whatever you're holding on to, whatever, it opens that door. And then you kind of correct it, believe it or not. And then the door closes and you're good.
But that's also why those kind of medicines and drugs are generally done
not at a bar.
In a setting, right, with somebody that kind of controls space.
So Rick Springfield, he tried ketamine. Mm-hmm. And he was like, look, this is just not for me. I felt heavy. I felt machine-like. I did not feel better. It did not change anything. So I just tried to microdose. And he said, hadn't done anything like this since I was in my 20s. Man, it was a great high. I'm not trying to push drugs on anyone. I'm not averse to anything that helps me be happier and to be a better person. And I need some help in that area. So I'm always searching. And believe it or not, I found this to be an effective way to help me with my depression.
I mean, they use it for a lot of things now. PTSD, right? I mean,
I have a buddy. He's in a state where it's legal to go to your doctor and get it. He swears by it for his depression.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard nothing but good things about it as far as treating something clinical.
Right now, you could obviously overdose, take way too much. You have like Matthew Perry, who had a doctor's prescription, but then he was going out and buying more and more.
He said he got 27 doses the week before he passed on.
Good Lord!
And he is my friend's wife works for a ketamine company. They said they estimated he had to be almost 200 times the medical dose.
Jesus.
Our question, what is the thing that you did one time, and would you do it again? 206-803-ROCK.
This is the mighty 99.9 KISW and KISW HD1 Seattle. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK from the Pinky's Plumbing Studio. You're in the men's room.
It was a birthday party that would do even the most seasoned raver proud. Strobe lights, glow sticks, and a headline act who has played some of the biggest festivals in the UK. The birthday girl sipped on champagne while guests helped themselves to free-flowing cocktails from a pop-up bar run by Jägermeister. This was not an Instagram influencer's Ibiza pool party. However, it was Hilda Jackson's 105th birthday rave at her care home in Derbyshire. I've had a wonderful time. The people here are wonderful. I think we've had a great time. Her face was decorated with UV paint. I've enjoyed every minute of it, and that's everything to me. I think it's absolutely fabulous. I never expected this. I knew there'd be some people, but not the amount of all the people who have come. I'm very, very grateful to everyone that came to the party. It's been lovely. Now, for part of her life, she worked at a police headquarters in the hospitality service. Also worked at a factory during the Second World War, ironing uniforms. But in her free time, she liked nothing more than road trips with friends and to dance. She said, we used to travel, go to different places, which I love. I could drive. I'd got a car. My friends and I used to go out. I never thought I would reach 105. I'm very pleased I have. I don't feel any different to when I was 100.
What does that mean exactly? Everything still hurts.
Yeah. She puts her long life down to being dealt a good hand with her health, but also her love of dancing. I've been very lucky with my health, and that's very important. I've not abused myself. I have a drink, and I love a drink, but that's it. I love ballroom dancing. I go twice a week. I'm still dancing. Not as much as I used to, but I do get up on the floor and have a bit of a twirl round, and I love it. Now, one thing that she said she's been looking forward to in her party is she wanted to have a bit of a jig, you see. We're so thankful for everything everyone has done, said Claire Allen. She is the Homes Activity Coordinator. Jägermeister, they got a DJ who's a renowned DJ. We've got a rapper who's won Mobile Awards. The Nottingham-based rapper, Brew C, B-R-U-C.
Do you know who the DJ was?
And the residents have been dancing. That was epic. Does not say the name of the DJ.
All right. I mean, if Jaeger brought him, dude, you know he's truth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who put this party together other than the nursing home? Hilda's nephew, David Duro. He is 81.
Wow.
He's a retired psychologist. He said, when we heard about that Auntie would like a rave for her birthday, we thought, well, that fits in with you, with your general personality and your general love of life, the kind of things that you like to do. So they decided, why not? Let's put together a rave for the auntie and have a good time.
I'm just blown away that Jägermeister showed up, man.
So the first rave for the woman at 105 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
I mean, I think raves, too, like, everybody has an idea of, like, the 80s and 90s in, like, England. Sure. Or, like, maybe when people started going to them. But, I mean, I don't know. I would always tell people, like, oh, I've never been to a rave. It's like, well, I've never been to a warehouse rave, right? But, like, I go to festivals. I've been to Burning Man. I mean, I've watched the sun come up watching Robot.
How many times
Heart.
have you been to Burning Man?
Twice.
So you went once and you went again. So that basically says, look, I went and I do this again in a heartbeat, despite the weather, whatever can be unpredictable.
I mean, given conditions in my personal life, I would go this year.
Yeah.
If I could plan it out correctly, yeah, I'm not done going to that.
Okay. All right. But you did something once and you said, you know what?
I will do this again.
I will do this again.
Correct.
And that's kind of part of the question. Look, just because you did something once, the reason we're asking you, would you do it again? Yes, I did it again. Now, Steve, you jumped out of an airplane.
Yes.
Would you do it again?
Absolutely.
You would?
Absolutely. Keep in mind, I didn't jump out, but the guy I was tethered to did.
But because you would do it that way again.
I would do it that way again. I would like to get to the point where I just have the balls to just do it myself.
Yeah.
It's a different training and all that, but I mean, seriously, just being up in the plane, it's cool. But when we got to the edge, basically I'm sitting on this guy's lap at this point, but your feet are hanging out of the plane and you look down, and I'm thinking, this is a really, really stupid idea. You know, everything in you says,
sure.
don't do this. But again, since I'm strapped to him and this is what he does, he's like, well, we're doing it. And I mean, we're out of the plane. But I'm telling you, once you're out of the plane, like all of your fear goes away. I don't know how to explain it, right? So sitting on the plane, looking out of that door, I'm like, this is terrifying. This is going to be the freakiest thing of my life. Once you leave and you're literally in a free fall, plummeting toward the planet, you're real relaxed. You're like, this is cool. You know, step 2, obviously, you hope the parachute comes out, but it really doesn't cross your mind when you're doing the drop.
Because you're in it.
Because you're in it, man. And I'm telling you, it's weird. So, like, I would like to do it solo, but I do remember how I felt when my legs were hanging out of the plane. And it's like, you just push me. Because I don't know that I'm going to do it myself, but just push me. Push me out. But, yeah.
Well, I mean, you hear a lot of football players and fighters talk about that, right? Like, you are super nervous, but, like, you got to get that first hit in. Then it's like
Then you settle down.
Right, then you're just kind of zoned into like, okay, we're playing a game. Or okay, I'm in a 3-round fight with this guy.
In my adult life, I know I have vertigo, and I know that it's bad, but it just seems like over time, I feel more comfortable with understanding it and how I can deal with it. For an example, I can't be in the backseat of a car and look down at my phone and start reading stuff. For whatever reason, I get vertigo. I get really car sick.
Really?
And when I'm spinning on anything spinning, then I get, but I feel like...
You told me, and I'm sorry to laugh at you, I understand the vertigo thing, but just the idea of seeing a grown man damn near throw up on the teacups.
That's what I was going to tell you. So,
I know.
So
the two little girls, and
man,
you're the one.
So I think I'm going to overcome this, all right?
Which is like the baseline, like,
all right.
It's not a roller coaster, but it's a little exciting.
Look,
right. It's the teacup.
This is the part of Disneyland where you enter, and it's where all the introductory things are. It's a small world.
Yep.
The Dumbos that you can get on and go around in a nice slow circle. You know, all these rides are as remedial as it gets at Disneyland.
In other words, no one should be scared
this
on
is
these
your
rides.
Base level stuff, and Ava says, I want to do the teacups.
Kids aren't tall enough to get on real rides.
I said, I want to do the teacups. And I said, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, you know what, man? I can do this.
I can do the teacups.
I can overcome this.
That is a manly moment right there.
Yeah. So I get in there with her, and then, of course, there's a pretty good line. And I believe it was like 3 or 4 people it had to be 4 people per cup.
Yeah.
So it's me and her, and then there's 2 other girls that get on, probably the same age as my daughter. Now, if you've never been on the teacup ride before, it spins around and around and around, and the whole ride goes around in a circle as well as your individual teacup does. Well, my daughter and these 2 other girls...
Is that lower than like a tilt-a-whirl where you can actually keep spinning it yourself faster?
Well, you can. All right. And these 3 girls, there's a disc in the middle.
Yeah.
And you can turn it, and then the thing... Now, they're on fire. They're going to take this thing to the 12th level. I mean, they are... Soon as we start, they start spinning the cup around. I'm like, oh, no, girls. Oh, no. Oh, no. And this ride, like back to yesterday's question about time, I felt the ride would never end. It might have been 4 minutes. It might have been 5. I don't know. It felt like a half an hour of living hell. When I got out of that teacup, I almost fell over because I couldn't stand up straight. It was like doing the bat game where you put your head down and spin around and try to run across the yard at somebody's birthday party. I got out of there, man, and for a half an hour at least, I thought I was going to throw up. Wow. And
the
teacups.
The heat didn't help in Disneyland with the pavement and the hot. And I'm just like, oh, my God. So I'm like, listen, I need to cool off. So I get in line for It's a Small World After All.
Oh, my God.
And I get in the boat or the train or whatever the hell that thing is. And I'm like, oh, my God. I sit down. And until we got into that air-conditioned room, I thought I was going to throw up on the people in front of me. That's how sick. And
sorry, man, did the teacups.
And at that point, I was like, I'm never doing anything that spins ever again. I'm never getting on a ride like that. That is the last time that I ever do that. And I said it out loud. I'm never getting on a ride. I don't care if it's fair. I don't care what the hell it is. This is as remedial as it gets. If I can't do this and control this, because I felt like I can finally control this.
So like the bigger one that spins around, you can all sit in the same row. And it kind of goes up a little bump, but it spins real fast.
Oh, no.
Can't do that.
No, if it goes round and round.
Brother, you can't do teacups then. If you can't,
but it's a bigger circle, so I thought maybe that helped.
But again, if the teacups at Disneyland are going to make you sick, like they ain't a spinning ride out there.
I will never forget this. I was at Kennywood outside of Pittsburgh, and they had this thing where they strap you to a wall, and then they start spinning you around. And there's nothing below your feet. And you are just kind of locked into the wall. But you're spinning around and round and round. Have you ever seen one of these?
Yeah.
The floor
They
drops
have them
out?
at all the local fairs, too. What is that? The Gravitron.
Gravitron. Floor drops
Yeah,
out.
exactly. You could spin around.
Yeah,
and,
it's just centrifugal force, right? So everyone's pressed up against the...
12-year-old me pretty sure threw up on at least 6 people.
Dude.
At least 6 people on that ride.
After the last time I got in line to get on one of those, they had to temporarily shut it down because one of the kids who's on it previously had done the same thing. And I guess the way they'd explained it, they're like, this kid, he turned his head and puked, right, instead of just doing it forward. So about half the people on the ride just got splat because you're going so fast, right?
I threw up everywhere. I threw up all over myself.
Jesus.
I was there on a summer camp outing with a bunch of other people who went to the same camp that I did at the church. It was like, everybody's going up for Kennywood, day at the park. And I never thought in my life that I needed to bring a change of clothes as a 12-year-old anywhere.
Of course.
Not how I rolled. Fortunately, one of the parents who was a chaperone was decent enough to go buy me a new shirt. So I did get a new Kennywood shirt out of it. Pretty cool. But at the same point in time, I was wearing a cool shirt that I basically threw away.
Yeah.
So anyway, many years later, I tried this again, and I almost threw up all over all those people on It's a Small World after getting out the teacups.
Jesus.
And that's it. I'm done. I'm never going around and around again. I will never get on one of those rides.
Well, a text came in and says, Miles, that sounds so familiar. I rode the stupid effing teacups, and I did throw up. Never again.
Yeah. So I know my limitations.
That's insanity.
I
love
do
those rides.
The teacups.
I love a huge ass roller coaster.
Sure.
I mean, the bigger the better for me. I love them. For whatever reason, they don't affect me that way. I can spin around the teacups and throw up on your mom. If she's sitting there. That's the
What
sad
about
truth.
so there's the big wheel here in Seattle, right?
I can do that.
And that one's kind of slow.
I can do that.
The same basic thing.
I enjoy that.
Same basic thing in D.C. under the waterfront they're redoing.
Yeah.
And 2-3 years ago, whenever I was there with the kids, we started there. We're going to meet my brother, have lunch. And as we're waiting, the kids are like, I really want to get down there. I think that one might be a little taller. Either way, it's all glass. It's right on the edge of the water. I did not enjoy it. I think maybe that's the best way to put that. So...
Yeah.
I was being cool because the kids were in there. And what makes it worse, my wife knew that I was uncomfortable, but I'm not saying anything. I don't want the kids to know Dad's a PE. But, they're like jumping around and pressing themselves against the glass to get a better view. And I'm just like, oh, my God, the door's going to open. They're going to fall the hell out. So I'm like, sit down.
Yeah.
They're like, well, Dad,
I've been on a gondola before in the summertime. And somebody in our group was a big boy, right? Like 350, large man. So he is scared to death to get on this gondola, right? But there's only 4 of us, right? It fits 10 people.
Right.
It'll be fine. But then there's just a cute, 19, 20-year-old chick working. She's like, you scared, big fella? And he says yes, which was a terrible mistake.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Then, the whole gondola ride up was it's summertime. She's jumping around and shaking it.
Yeah.
And same thing. I mean, he is pasty white, just sweating. And finally we had to be stop. It's funny, but he's going to puke.
I was in a gondola in Cape Town to the top of Flat Top Mountain. Now, this gondola, it has a circular rotating thing on it. So basically, as you're going up, it's spinning.
Oh, dope.
So you can see
for us
360. Yeah. And I'm on there with a packed, it's shoulder to shoulder on this gondola. And it starts to spin, and I'm like, oh, no. Oh, no. And I had to close my eyes. I at one point in time, I have a problem with heights, and I have a problem with that. I'm in the Space Needle. I get up to the top of it. I've never been in the Space Needle before. Family comes in out of town. Everybody wants to do the Space Needle. I'm in because I want to go too.
Sure.
I go to the bar and get a beer. I'm sitting there, and I look out the window, and I see kind of the towers on Queen Anne, and then they go by a windowsill. And I'm and I asked the bartender, I'm like, are we moving? And he goes, yeah. And I said, is this thing spinning? And he goes, yeah. And I really had to turn around and focus and look at a certain point.
Right.
And focus on that point. So, because I felt like my chair was moving. It's so weird how it affects me. It doesn't even have to be fast.
Yeah.
I just can't. I get sick. I was like, I'm going to throw up here. And then I walked out on the balcony and realized it was moving. And then I have the fear of heights. And the whole thing just hits me all at once. And I'm like, I don't know how long I can last up here, man.
Yeah.
Because they're like, maybe we should eat dinner up here. There's a restaurant. I'm like, I am not eating dinner up here. I will not be hungry. No way.
We took the kids, the CN Tower in Toronto, right? Their version of the Space Needle, but it's taller. Kids really wanted to do it. They're young, fine. We go up on the elevator, it's fine. And I don't freak out with heights if I'm looking laterally, if you know what I mean. So when we got to the tower, to look over the city of Toronto, didn't bug me. You realize you're super high up. But then they have a glass floor part closer to the center. And I did not step on it. I simply looked through it, and you're looking straight down. That bugged me. Meanwhile, my daughter, she keeps like jumping up and down on the glass thing, and I'm like, oh my God, it's going to break. She's going to drop to her death, and she's laying on it for pictures and all this. But she points to the wall, and she said, Dad, just step on it. I was like, no, man, I really don't want to do that. So she points at the wall, and on the wall, there is this giant poster that has 4 orcas. And the point was that that glass that's there can support the weight of 4 orcas. So she's saying, Dad, it can hold 4 killer whales. Certainly, you don't weigh that much. I said, have you asked yourself what happened to the 5th killer whale? That was the wrong thing to say, because she immediately scrambled off of the glass. My wife's like, why did you say that? I'm like, I thought it was funny, man. I didn't realize it'd freak her out. But, I'm telling you, do that. Try to stand on that glass. See if you can bring yourself to do it. It's not easy.
What is the thing that you did one time, and would you do it again? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Joe. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bichulas.
Hola.
How are we doing this fine day?
We're
it's
doing
a
great.
Day in the Northwest.
It is, man.
It really is,
and
man.
a positive Friday.
It is a positive Friday. All right. The one thing I will never do again, everything you said, Miles, I will never do again. I'm never doing the teacups. I'm not jumping out of an airplane that's going to be landed by somebody else. I'm not going to do all that.
I feel like teacups and jumping out of the airplane are just two different extremes, man.
Yeah.
Okay, but also things I'm never going to do. There's a rabbit in my yard right now. I'm sitting on my back porch, playing for Team Not Sober, and this rabbit has the largest testicles I've ever seen on any. Okay, so what had happened was I was walking on the Washington coast one day when I was a teenager, 40-some years ago. And I ran
Sorry. Did you pause just to tell us you're looking at a rabbit's junk and it's huge?
There's a rabbit in my backyard, a bull rabbit. And it has the largest testicles I've ever seen on a rabbit. And I've shot lots of rabbits because I am a hillbilly.
Okay. All right, just checking.
Okay, back to the beach.
There are the 7 words you can't say on the radio. Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now back to the program.
Let me get this straight. You called to give us an answer to the question, but you're distracted by a rabbit with the largest set of testicles I've ever seen sitting on my back porch.
Then you cussed. Then
you cursed.
What is the thing that you did one time, and would you do it again? 206-803-ROCK.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
So I used Gemini for the first time the other day, and the most impressive thing to me was just talking to it. You go live with it, and then it's just like you're having a conversation. You can just talk about your day or have it explain something to you or start brainstorming ideas. Let me give you an example. I pretended I have a job interview coming up and asked it to help me prep for the interview. It immediately started suggesting common questions I might get asked. Then I started talking through my answers out loud, and it would give me feedback. And it's all happening in real time, like I'm talking to a career coach or something. That's just what I tried first, but you can talk to it about anything. And I honestly think that's the magic of it, how you can just have this back and forth, and it's all seamless. If you haven't tried it yet, it's definitely worth checking out. You'll see what I mean.
Is your team at work feeling a little disconnected? Maybe the workflow's not flowing? Try Confluence by Atlassian. Confluence is the connected workspace where teams can create, organize, and deliver work like never before. In Confluence, teams can whiteboard their vision for any project, easily create or access the relevant pages and resources they need, and discover important context they might not even know they need. Plus, AI helps teams jumpstart brainstorms, organize information, and connect workflows, so teams can move efficiently and create alignment with ease. In fact, with Confluence, teams can see 5.2% average boost in productivity in 1 year. So if your team lacks confidence, try Confluence, the connected workspace where teams can do it all. Set knowledge free with Confluence. Learn more at Atlassian.com/Confluence. That's Atlassian.com/CONFLUENCE.
Independent financial advisors focus on building a relationship with you that goes beyond your portfolio. As fiduciaries, they must act in your best interest, always. The relationship they have with you will be based on transparency and trust, and they're committed to bringing you advice that fits your values. That's why Charles Schwab is proud to support them. Visit findyourindependengadvisor.com.
Auto insurance rates are on the rise, which is why you should call Vern Fonk Insurance. Vern Fonk could save you up to 20% on your auto insurance. The pros at Vern Fonk will do all the work, comparing different plans to find you the best options. And they can insure you over the phone. One call to Vern Fonk could save you up to 20%. Call 206-408-5094. 206-408-5094.
Remember to honk when you drive by Vern Fonk.
Restrictions apply based on a Q3 2023 study of Vern Fonk insurance customers who reported saving when they switched. License number 1070622.
I've been working with a Nourish dietitian for the last 6 months, and it's been life-changing. I've lost weight, healed my relationship with food, and have way more energy. Working with a dietitian online to create a personalized nutrition plan was so easy thanks to Nourish. The best part? I pay $0 out of pocket because Nourish accepts hundreds of insurance plans. 94% of patients pay $0 out of pocket. Find your dietitian at usenourish.com. That's usenourish.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With nonstop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation by offering comfortable and spacious cabins. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
Hey, what's the easiest way to find out what channel the game's on? Sports on What? Subscribe to the Sports on What app and quickly find the channel for every provider. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Download today.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up, we will drink a toast for the show today that is Bad Choice Friday time.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
Damn on. And today we call the Men's Room Dealer's Choice Bad Choice Friday. Simply vote for myself, Steve the Thrill Hill, or the Ted Smith. We each picked a tune. Mm-hmm. You determine which member of the program you think maybe pick the best one. Vote now if you follow us on X at Men's Room Live. One of the 3 tunes coming up after we drink and toast with a shot of the day. Our question, what is the thing that you did one time, and would you do it again? 206-803-ROCK.
You brought up the teacups earlier. And yeah, we like to make fun of you, call a big old bitch, because a grown man should not get sick on the teacups.
I did not get sick.
Shouldn't even have the fear of getting sick on the teacups. Well, turns out you are not alone. Someone else says, my wife and I, we can't do the teacups at Disney. I promised to hold the center still so I wouldn't spin as much. Well, I spun it as fast as I could. And she threw up in my lap. Someone else says, I'm with Miles. I swore off most rides 30 years ago. And also, if you have an iPhone, have you tried the motion thing? Apparently, it places some moving dots on the screen. It's supposed to be good for looking at your phone if you're riding in a car.
I do not have that.
Someone else says Space Mountain, never again. Absolutely the worst ride on earth. I had to lay down for 20 minutes to collect myself after that brutal thrashing. And then someone here says, look, I think it just comes with getting older, your inner ear. Basically, I could do everything and anything. Now I can only do giant roller coasters. Anything that spins in a circle just screws with my inner ear.
No, it does. However the vertigo is created, I can't get rid of it. Now, there are activities that there's a few things, I'll never zip line again.
You won't?
No.
I thought you said once you got over your initial fear that you kind of enjoyed.
The fear was fine. What it did to my junk was absolutely horrific. As far as the pain the entire time, the harness was absolutely grabbing every single thing that I had.
You're not wrong. I did it in Vegas a couple of years with Mike Hawk, in fact. He was like, let's do this. I didn't mind the idea of doing it, but you're right. That harness, man, once your feet leave the platform, the whole time that we're zipping over what is downtown, Fremont Street, whatever it is, I do remember that just like, oh my God, my testicles are in a lot of pain. Like I wanted the ride to end because my testicles hurt, not because it was scary.
Yep. I mean, it was bad.
I've heard that about skydiving too.
I don't.
Like my old trainer, like he was like a bodybuilder, so he was a big dude. So he was right on the limit of like being able to do it.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, it was just so tight.
It is super tight. I don't remember my testicles aching much, but it was noticeably tighter than anything else that I've worn.
Ted, would you ever go snowmobiling ever again?
Probably not.
Nope.
I mean, it would have to be super flat.
Just PTSD from your last
experience. That doesn't mean it's any less dangerous. Based on the speed, there could be fences, there could be ditches.
There could be, but just doing it up in Chelan, like those mountains and stuff. I mean, I like thinking about it right now, right? Like, I got bucked off it. It landed upside down on a cliff. And then now I'm scared. But, like, some of these hills are so steep, you got to go fast.
Right, you got to gun it.
And then when I turned around to meet those guys at a lookout point, I still remember the back of that thing falling off. And luckily, I was smart enough to remember to gun it. So it pulled me up. But, I mean, if I had fallen off there, like, honestly, it was the dead of winter. I don't know when anybody would have found me.
Right.
Wow.
Spring.
So that's like... Right, if I don't know, if I guess I was in Wisconsin or something, and it's like, it's just flat land, go tear it up, I might try it then.
It sounds very similar to Mike's story about
the
dunes in the Coos Bay area.
Right, he doesn't know it's going to be a cliff.
And when you go up to the top, you think you're going to jump it, and the dune is changed every single day based on the wind.
Well, he said the way the wind was blowing, it looked like the dune kept going up.
Yeah.
And I think he said it was his mom waving him off, like, stop, stop. But, yeah, when he looked on the other side, what did he say? It's like a 50-foot drop or something like that?
Yep.
Yeah, you know what, Miles? That's a good call. Snowmobiling, I don't know that I would do that again. I mean, I was shaking for hours.
But now you're scared of heights, too, Miles. When someone here says, I'm afraid of heights, but I went up to the Arch in St. Louis, yes, I would do it again.
Okay, well, see,
I've been up in that.
You're enclosed, so maybe that would help me.
If you have claustrophobia, though...
I don't have that.
Getting up there sucks, man. Getting in that pod is so tiny.
How many people can fit in it?
I think it's like 4 or 5.
And that's it.
But I mean, you are squished in there.
I think the fact
like
that
you being tall would hate it, right? Me being bigger, you don't want to sit next to me because we're going to be packed in there together. Like it sucks.
Yeah.
But it's awesome when you're up there.
I think the fact that I grew up caving and you crawl through some really tight spaces.
Yeah, that'll get rid of claustrophobia.
Like maybe 18, 16 inches on some creases. That just doing that, I never really got scared of being in that situation because it was just normal. The only thing, the dumbest thing you could ever do is just don't keep your hands out in front of you. It's very important you keep your hands in front of you at all times. Yeah. Once you learn that one thing, then you can pretty well be okay. But I do, as far as like just activities I've never done before but did once, we had at a radio station I worked at, one of the sponsors we had was a paintball with a company.
Yeah.
Well, they had their own, paintball, kind of, army area in the woods. So this whole area roped off. And the way you do it is you have 2 forts, and essentially in this element of paintball, the way they did it was kind of more of a capture the flag.
Yeah.
So you're kind of defending your fort, you're defending your flag. If you capture the other opponent's flag, you win the game. And, of course, if you get shot, you are out. So we took a bunch of listeners down to this paintball complex, and, of course, we're going to play too. We are playing essentially the paintball staff and friends, we'll call them all-star team.
Okay.
All right?
So they know what they're doing.
They run the joint, they work there, and then they have some of their friends come that want to play us too. So we've been talking about this on the radio for, 3 or 4 weeks. We're going to go down. Your chance to win a chance to, have a free afternoon of paintball or whatever the hell it was called. So we get down there, and these guys, they all have their own paintball guns.
Of course.
And we get all the rental stuff. We get all suited up. You know, they give you goggles and all these different things. And, man, when you start out, your adrenaline is pumping. You are army crawling. You're jumping into ditches that you never would before with, you know, rhododendrons and thorn bushes, trying to hide. You're trying to do all this crap. You're trying to maneuver as best you can. And I just remember taking this paintball to the neck when I got out.
Yeah, that's brutal.
It was, I was like, it's kind of like I got hit by a bug one time when I was on my scooter.
Right.
But 3 times as bad. And when that thing hit my neck, man, and I was out, I was like, I held my neck, and then I started to walk out, but I had my hand up. That's kind of a sign that you're out, right? Put your hand up, you're out. All of a sudden, thump, 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 thump,
Yeah,
thump, thump.
you're also on target.
I get drilled like as soon as like 5 more times before I'm just trying to put my hand up and stand up, and I'm getting hit from every side now, like boom, 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 like, and it hurts. I mean, and their guns, I think, were a little bit more pressurized, so to speak.
I guarantee you they were.
I mean, that's what makes paintball more fun than like laser tag, is because there's real pain.
Yep.
And you can get hit.
And it hurts.
Yeah.
So when we were done with that, I was like, look, man, I am never, just based on pain, playing this game ever again. It was a one-shot deal. It was fun. It was a great adrenaline rush until you get shot multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's time to be like, because they had like 3 different rounds. This is like round 1.
Yeah.
After that, I'm like, I'm out. I am out. I'm not doing this. This is my one and done, and I'm never doing paintball again.
The one thing I swore I would not do again, and it was my idea the first time. We went to Hawaii, I don't know, like 15 years ago or something. We're like, man, we live in Seattle. Let's go to Hawaii. Right? It's right there. When else are we going to go? So we went, and, you know, you do whatever you're going to do. But the one thing my wife really wanted to do, this submarine thing. And I did not tell her how remarkably terrifying I believe that scenario to be. We did it. It ended up being very cool. And, I mean, I was clenching my ass the whole time until I actually physically got inside of the sub. And it was cool. It was great. I wanted to do the helicopter ride. So she says, okay. So, like I said, we roll up to this guy, and it looked like he put this helicopter together in his own garage. You know, he's got the big, like, Wilford Brimley mustache kind of thing. And anyway, he flew us up there. I didn't realize how rickety the ride in a helicopter is, right? You know what I mean? It's not pressurized or anything, so you're constantly dropping 10 feet, or the wind shifts and all this, and he's going around this volcano. And look, it was all beautiful and all that kind of thing, but also all I could think the whole time is, I really want this thing to land. Like, I seriously want to get off of this thing. So I told my wife when we're done, look, I'm never getting on a helicopter again unless it's a medical emergency, right? There's just no chance.
But you won't even know. If that's the case, right, you won't even know that you've been transported.
The problem is, maybe 8 years later, then the trip to Canada, take the kids to Niagara Falls. Well, one of the stops they make along the way is the helicopter tour, right? Now, these guys, they look like Airwolf, you know what I mean? They're seriously standing with their hands on their hips, flight suits on, aviators and all this. And the kids, they really want to do it. And I'm like, this is the one thing I swore I'd never do again. I did it again. This was a more comfortable ride. I still cannot wait to land. But when the helicopter took off, you know, the kids have all the good seats. They get to sit up front. Me and the wife are in the back with some old broad. And I'm looking around and I just want to get off this helicopter. I really do not enjoy the flight of a helicopter. And then my son points down at the highway that's under us. And he goes, Dad, if it crashes, let's hope we don't crash there. I'm like, this is not a conversation I want to have. And then when we got actually over Niagara Falls, I said, what do you think now? He's like, I'd rather crash on the highway. I'm like, exactly. But let's stop talking about it, man.
Correct. What is the thing that you did one time, and would you do it again? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Cliff. Welcome to the men's room. Hello, Cliff.
Cliff, are you there?
He's there.
Oh, boy. Hello, Cliff. Welcome to the men's room.
It's going to be a long day.
It's not Cliff.
Cliff, you got to talk to us.
Cliff, what are you doing?
What in the F?
Can he not hear us?
I don't know.
Put him back on hold. All right, listen. Miles, repeat the question.
What is the thing that you did one time, and would you do it again?
Okay.
Did you tell him to turn his radio down?
Well, I don't think he's even listening to the radio. Okay. He's just talking to somebody else.
All right.
Hello, Cliff.
Cliff.
Nope.
Hello.
What the?
Nope.
Is he just saying no?
I don't know. Hey, Cliff, what are you doing?
Where is Cliff?
Oh, God.
Who is this?
This isn't Cliff. This is Alex.
Oh, Alex.
Well, hello, Alex.
All right, there we go. Maybe that was our fault. All right, Alex.
All right.
What's
your
the thing
phone,
that you did
your
one
phone
time?
rings in as Cliff, so I wrote it as Cliff. My bad, boys.
Okay. I was wondering who's Cliff.
We're wondering why you wouldn't speak. Like, why does it keep giggling? Just talk to us, man.
I'm gonna punch you, Cliff.
That makes more sense now.
Sorry.
So, Alex, what have you done at least once, and would you do it again?
I went snowboarding up at Snoqualmie a couple years back, and everything was all cool until they took us to the Black Diamond part of the mountain.
Yeah.
And they didn't really tell us, how steep that hill is. And, there's only one trail to get there, and the only way back is to go down that hill.
Yeah.
And it's like a straight drop down. And when I looked at that thing, my vertigo just kicked in instantly. I was so scared, but they were like, nope, it's the only way down. So I just rode my brakes the whole way down. I was so terrified. But, I looked to the left and right of me, and like everybody else, we're pretty beginner snowboarders at this point. So everybody's just kind of like flying down the hill on their brakes, and they can't stop. So I was terrified at that point too,
Yeah. I've been in a similar situation on skis. I'm not the best skier in the world, but up at Whistler, what is the Olympic downhill run?
Yeah.
I ended up getting on that thing.
Did you realize that's what you're on, or?
Well, I at that point in time, I had taken a lesson during the day.
A lesson.
The guy said,
Oh, you feeling confident?
Yeah. Well, the guy said,
lesson.
Well, he's like, hey, I'm going to do one more run with you. I think you can do this run. And he really didn't tell me what the run was. But we get up there, and they're blue, it's black or whatever. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm done blue, so I'm going to try black. And it's a sheet of ice. And, I mean, just like you say, man, you're just dropping down straight down a mountain. And it's absolutely terrifying. And if you can always catch a blade. I felt like I was just doing the biggest switchbacks that I wasn't even going down the hill. I was basically just doing a figure eight. I felt like in the same place, like just, I could not get down certain places. So I scrunched down a couple times on my ass. So I got to a certain point where I thought I can take this angle.
Yeah.
There was a couple times there. I'm like, and I hated it. I was so terrified. I knew for a fact then, like, I think I'm done with this sport. I was trying it for a while, but
I've been on a double black diamond on the top of Crystal. Now, getting down wasn't that bad, but you had to take. There's two ways to get down. You can do like the front, but that's got a bunch of moguls.
Okay.
Or you got to take a long cat track around.
So you took the cat track all the way down.
So no, the cat track goes around to the back side, which doesn't have moguls. It's still a double black diamond, but I at the time I could snowboard enough to like it was fine getting down, but the cat track was very treacherous. Like to the point I just unstrapped my board. I was like, I'm just gonna walk because the one side of the cat track is just a cliff.
Yeah. I didn't realize. So the last time I went skiing, I didn't realize what the different diamonds meant. I knew what they meant, but I just thought like. So I'm a green guy, all right? That is
okay.
About my skill set is green, and even then in my mind I'm going 1,000 miles an hour, but I'm not scared.
Yeah.
But it's like I can do green. So I went up to blue, and the way I perceived it was simply you just went higher up. I didn't realize the things got steeper, right? So just going to the blue, just for me, man, get off the chairlift, I'm ready to go. And then you kind of get to the edge before you're going to actually go down. And I realized when I looked down, like, this is so much steeper than the green. And it all clicked in my head, and kind of like you're saying on the black. And obviously, again, this is a blue. I'm a candy ass, but I hated it. I mean, I basically went down the blue part with the French fries on the skis, pizza wedge, right? Just so I could kind of go slow. And then when you kind of get to the green part, then I loosened up a little bit. I'm like, not so bad. So, yeah, I didn't realize that it was steeper. I just thought it was taller.
What is the thing that you did one time, and would you do it again? 206-803-ROCK.
Well, that's the thing, too. Whenever you go skiing or snowboarding, somebody's like, you're not that good. Like, it helps if the person taking you, honestly, is not selfish and is like, okay, you can do this or you can't.
Right.
Or like I got to the point, like I only learned as I was dating a girl that loves snowboarding. So after like 4 or 5 times, like, just go do your thing. Because I am scared assless on some of the stuff you're taking me on.
My son was bitching about that last week, I think it was. So they do their ski bus thing or whatever, but he now does the double blacks and all this kind of thing. But one of his buddies was with him, and he said he did not know that his buddy was not prepared to do the blacks. He just wanted to hang out with a group of friends, right? So like 4 of them went up, but 1 out of the 4 just wasn't that great of a skier. So I was like, anyway, how was your skiing? And it's like, It's kind of a disaster, Dad. I'm like, what happened? He's like, oh, not me, but just our one friend. What did he say? It took like 40 minutes to get down the mountain. Because this kid was so petrified when they got up to the blacks. Like, first they had to talk him into, like, look, man, either you're going to walk down or you're going to ski down. And it was just pissing my kid off because it's like, man, we want to ski.
Right.
It's like, this is like 4 runs worth of time just to get him to go down. And then he's screaming and falling down. He's like, we had to keep our eye on him. So he's like, it wasn't fun. I'm like, well, did he go back up with you the second time? He's like, oh, God, no, man.
No.
Go have fun.
What is the thing you did one time? Would you do it again? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Terry. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello. How are you guys?
Hola. We're doing great, Terry. How are you, man?
I'm doing all right. Congratulations on your show for 20 years. It's absolutely awesome.
Thank you, Mom.
Okay. I have always wanted to go skydiving. Always wanted to go, never had the chance. And when I moved up here to Washington from Indiana, I found out that they do skydiving up here. So I tried to talk my husband into it. He wouldn't do it. Finally, when our anniversary came around a couple of years ago, I talked him into it. So we went to Toledo and was getting all ready. And, you have to do the tandem thing there. And we went skydiving. I didn't think he was going to go. He probably wouldn't have if the guy wouldn't have jumped.
Yeah, that's the way I was.
Of course, he had to go. I was all ready, and I absolutely loved it, would absolutely do it again.
Okay.
It's awesome.
How much did that cost you?
And I can't remember for sure, but a little over 200 or something like that.
But definitely worth it for the experience.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was wonderful.
How many years ago did you do this?
About 2 years ago for our anniversary for our 10th year.
Now, how about your husband? Would he do it again?
He would now. He said he's not scared anymore for it. He would do it again. Okay. I don't know for sure if that's true, but he did have a great time. We enjoyed it so much.
How old were you when you did this for the first time?
60.
All right, nice.
No age on the line.
Okay, good, man. Got it done.
Very cool. What is the thing you did one time? Would you do it again? 206-803-ROCK.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. You know what's sneaky? A bunch of big corporations buying up local companies you know and love, gutting them, and keeping the name. But you know who's not a sellout? Pinky's Plumbing. That's right. Pinky's Plumbing's values start with their work ethic, honesty, how they treat their employees, and how they care for their customers. Bigger isn't always better, and that's a fact. You should know you're working with a locally owned company that truly values where they live and work. Pinky's Plumbing. Pinky'sPlumbing.com.
What is Dax, are you?
Tracking all our cars on Carvana Value Tracker on all our devices? Yes, Kristen, yes, I am.
Well, I've been looking for my phone for...
In Dax's domain, we see all. So we always know what our cars are worth.
All of them?
All of them. Value surge, trucks up 3.9%.
That's a great offer.
I know. Sell?
Sell.
Track your car's value with Carvana Value Tracker today.
Hiring is a lonely business. Posting jobs, sifting through resumes, interviews with unqualified applicants, being ghosted. What if you could link with dozens of qualified candidates who are ready to work right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, the workforce you need. Problem solved. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
Plug in a Hyundai EV and the extraordinary happens. From the charge time and range in the Ioniq 5 and 6 to the adventurous spirit of the Kona Electric to the 601 horsepower Ioniq 5N. Hyundai EVs make the extraordinary electrifying. There's joy in every journey.
EPA estimated 303-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 5 SE SEL limited rear-wheel drive and 361-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 6 SE long-range rear-wheel drive with fully charged battery. Actual range may vary. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Pinky's Plumbing Studio, you're in the men's room. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK.
Coming up until 4:35, the return of Ted versus the FCC. Right after emails on our question, what is the thing that you did one time? And would you do it again? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Barb. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi, how are you guys?
Hola. Doing great, Barb. Thanks.
Hola, bichola.
Hola.
So my daughter decided on our 50th birthday she was going to get us a Groupon to jump out of an airplane.
All right.
My husband was not 100% happy about it. We go down to Toledo. We get there. We find out we're jumping out of the airplane all by ourselves.
Wait.
decided
You mean not tandem?
Not tandem, correct.
Is there like a 3-hour training session or something like that before you can do that?
You're supposed to watch a video and then you sign off.
Watch a video?
So it's like BKU.
Yeah, just you kind of watch a video and then they just sign off and you wait.
All right.
Well, we decided we didn't want to do it on our own, so we decided to pay the extra and do the tandem. We were supposed to be falling out of the airplane at like noon. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we're standing around waiting and waiting. We finally get up there. I'm listening to everything that the guy has told me what to do. My husband, the minute we get into this rickety airplane, he's forgotten everything the guy told him to do. I'm sitting right next to the pilot, and apparently I have to watch my knee. If I hit this switch or something, it could make us, I don't know, I guess die.
Yeah, that's all right.
I jump out of the airplane. I'm doing good. My husband goes to jump out of the airplane, and he's like a cat. He is not coming out of that airplane. He is attached to this guy. The guy finally yanks him out. He ends up ripping his leg. He's got a 6-inch scar on his leg. He's bleeding. I'm up there doing twirls. I'm having a good time in the sky trying to wave at Chris. He's not paying any attention to me. He's looking straight at the ground. We finally land. I get up. I look at him. His eyes are about the size of a saucer. He comes over, grabs a hold of me, and it's just like, I can't believe I made it. And then got in the car, and we were ready to go home.
That was it.
So I guess you would do it again. He would not.
I would. He would not.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. All right. Yeah. Again, just depends on your experience.
I do just watch this video. Jump out of a plane, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I watched my daughter paraglide over a mountain. We were down in Africa. And I looked up and I'm like, no.
Paraglide? What about the...
She got down. She's like, that was awesome, Dad. You'd have loved it. I'm like, no, I wouldn't have.
What about...
wouldn't have liked it.
Back of the boat. Yeah, the parasailing.
I have done that one time.
I debate it because, look, every time I go to Mexico, like, there's this one spot where all tourism...
Here's my thought on that. You're going to fall into the water. I'm a pretty competent swimmer, and if the water's warm, I'm fine. It just depends on how you land. So,
right.
You just got to make sure that you get in, because I've jumped off very tall bridges off cliffs.
Sure.
I've done that in my lifetime. I can do that.
That's the thing. For someone who...
I feel safer.
For someone who's scared of heights, the fact that you jumped up on like the 60-foot bridge or whatever it was,
at least.
Something like that.
Yeah, we did it all the time as kids. I've jumped off of cliffs in Jamaica. I can jump off of a cliff.
So you can do that.
Right.
So would you skydive then?
I'm not in control. At least when I'm flying through the air, I can manipulate my body with my arm.
You're definitely not in control when you jump off of a cliff.
You kind of
in control of what? Gravity is 100%.
How you were flying through the air.
Well, your control, right, but how you land, but also, like, there's other aspects that make cliff jumping more dangerous.
Well, you could slip when you push off. That's probably
not get far enough out. There's sharks down there. There could be a rock formation. Like, I'm with Thrill. To me, skydiving seems safer
because the parachute. Assuming the parachute opens, it's all good.
Well, what I did in Jamaica, we did have to wait for a shark to leave the cove.
Yeah,
before we could jump again. So it was about a 15-minute wait. So I just went and got a beer.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, that seems a little looser.
I don't think I cared at that time. I think I was really, really high.
Hey,
man, we're Jamaica. Wow. What is the thing that you did one time? Would you do it again? 206-803-ROCK.
But teacups, too much.
Yeah, teacups.
Not good. Jump off a 60-foot bridge. You go cliff diving.
I'm not spinning.
Whatever, but not teacups. Hello, Johnny. Welcome to the men's room.
Good evening.
Hola.
Hola. Hey, congratulations, guys, man. I love your show.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it, brother.
So back in 1984, I just got through playing football. I was in shape. Victor the Bear was coming through Tulsa, Oklahoma, 31st and Garnett, 21st century, 1984-85. And if you lifted Victor the Bear up, anyway, just 1 inch, you would win an IROC Z28.
That's perfect for the 80s.
So, of course, several Long Island iced teas later, I got my friends like, Brown, go wrestle that bear. So I got in the ring with this bear. I got on the second rope, and I was saying, when is he? Where is he? Is he close? Yeah, he's close. I did a backflip, tried to grab him by the back of his legs and try to hoist him up. Man, he grabbed me by the seat of my britches and just slammed me. I was like, damn it. But
he is a bear.
Yeah, there's a cat daddy from Fayetteville, Arkansas, hillbilly-looking guy, actually picked him up. They didn't give him the IROC Z28. He sued, and he ended up getting 2 of them. In 1990, when I moved here, Victor the Bear was in Sequim, Washington, at the animal safari over there, and I have photos with him.
And it was the same bear you wrestled?
Same bear I wrestled 6 years earlier. It was a trip, and the same trainer... He goes, hey, I remember that.
But you weren't scared of just getting in the ring with an animal?
A bear.
With a bear.
I was drunk, man. I'm football, baseball, and wrestler. So I wrestled, a guy named Tony Casillas that played for the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
So,
he was a big time. He was an all-pro defensive tackle, man.
Yeah, he's a beast. Yeah, we played football together in elementary and junior high.
Okay, that's crazy.
How long were you in the ring with the bear?
Man, it felt like, 10 minutes, but I guarantee it was probably 4.
All right.
Long enough for me to parade around like Steve Miggs.
Did the bear have a muzzle on? You said it.
He did.
Okay.
At that time, he did. Yes, sir.
And did it seem like, it's a bear, so, did you grapple with this thing at all?
I did. I got close to him, and I kind of clinched with him. Like, holy
got him in the
moly, I'm
clinch?
in a ring with a freaking bear. Oh, my God.
How bad did bear smell?
Yeah.
He had your wild animal musky smell. Just say like your dog just went swimming in Puget Sound.
All right, okay, all right.
When you're in the clinch with the bear, could you throw a knee, or is it just wrestling?
I got in tight with him once, and he grabbed me, and I was like, oh, Lord, I don't want to hug with a bear. So I started parading around the ring, got on the second rope, and I did a back foot, and I tried to pull him from behind, and he just grabbed it. It wasn't pretty after that.
All right, okay.
Yeah. Would you do it again?
Hell no.
All right. Okay. I just can't, the claws.
He's a big, when you get pinned by a bear, you don't want to be underneath the bear again.
So was the bear on its hindquarters the entire time? Was the bear standing when you were wrestling him?
Oh, he stood up a couple times.
Okay. And were you guys eye to eye, basically?
Oh, God, no. He's about 7 feet tall.
Oh, Jesus. Wow. What kind of bear was this? Black bear, grizzly bear, what?
It's black bear.
All right.
Now, does it sober you up?
He's in movies.
Does it sober you up at all? Like, I've been drunk and, I don't know, something bad happens and somehow your adrenaline makes you sober. So at the point that the bear is actually in the ring, do you begin to sober up like, I'm going to clinch with the frickin' bear?
Oh, hell no. I wasn't just on alcohol.
Aha. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Good times. It was the 80s.
Ironically, I'm reading up on this bear. It sounds like they muzzled him, they declawed him.
Oh, they did declaw him.
They did. But it also sounds like they put a bunch of drugs in him, too, to get him a little aggressive.
Oh, really?
To make the bear aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if you attack a bear, you're going to wrestle a bear, it's natural aggression will take hold.
Yeah.
You don't need to make them angrier.
What is the thing that you did one time? Would you do it again? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Tom. Welcome to the midroom.
Hola.
Hola.
Apparently, he liked to drink Coca-Cola.
Jesus Christ.
If he won, he got a free Coca-Cola. They said, which he guzzled quickly. All right.
Hey, back in 1981, I went with a group of guys, and we went cliff jumping at the Green River Gorge. And, it was incredibly fun, but I thought about it several times. No way in heck would I do that again.
Yeah, just based on you anymore, I'm afraid of how deep the water is, what is underneath the water. There could be a rock that's 2 feet underneath the water. You cannot see that from the surface.
Yeah.
And that's the real problem with that.
Yeah, it was so green on the last jump when we stopped. it was probably the highest cliff, and the water was so green you couldn't see the bottom. And so what I did, I said to myself, how deep is this? And I didn't know, so I didn't really like the guy who was standing next to me. So I just said, hey, we all know you're scared. Just go back to the car right now. And with that, he just took off and jumped. And he comes up, second later, swims away. So I go, well, okay. So I jumped in, and I'll be darned, the water was it was over 50 feet, but the water was 8 feet deep. And I hit the bottom pretty hard.
Yeah. But you Jedi mind F this guy into jumping off so you can find out how deep it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, that's an inherent danger, too. If you're in 8 feet, typically at the bottom of a river, it's going to be silt.
Right.
So I've had buddies that have jumped off that bridge where we did growing up. And if you go feet first with your toes pointed down, there's a good chance you shoot right down. And, people up to their calves that had to push out of the silt to then put their feet on the bottom of the lake to then push up to the top, which is about 12 feet, 10 feet. So, yeah, if you hit that thing like a torpedo, man, there's a good chance you can embed yourself down at the bottom of the lake.
Which, to me, that's a nightmare.
That's why, I don't care. That's why you always have to be super careful and jump in.
Yeah.
Like, I've told the story, too, of, we go to the same lake house almost every year in Montana, but sometimes the lake's lower than normal. But, I jumped in, but also there's a way, you know what I mean? I clearly had to move my legs once I got in the water and landed on my butt. But, if you dive in, you would get hurt.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Yeah, there's a list of things that people said they'd never do again from BuzzFeed. Jumping into a pool without knowing how deep it is. I backflipped into a pool, bumped my head on the floor. I wasn't hurt, but immediately thought that was stupid, and it could have been a lot worse. Here you go, zip lining. Got stuck. They had to reel me in. I had that happen to me, too.
Somebody on the text line says, I zip-lined across the canyon where the Royal Gorge Bridge is in Canyon City, Colorado. They said, that's all they had to say about it. My thing is, when I was a kid, when we lived in Denver, my parents took us there. I did not know what the Royal Gorge was, and it is a suspension bridge. Goes over the Colorado, and I don't remember how many feet up it is, man, but it's over 1,000 feet high. It was the most terrifying experience of my freaking life because my parents are like, we're going to walk across the bridge. And keep in mind, there's traffic on this bridge, too, and it's just wood slats and rope, man. Mm-hmm. And I remember walking across and this van going by, and you can feel, the weight of the van kind of pushing the bridge down. Anyway, we get to the other side, and my brother and I are like, look, man, we're done. We can't do this. And my father goes, well, we got a problem, fellas. We parked up. We got to go back across the freaking bridge to get to the car. I cannot explain how long it took, and not just us. I remember a woman. The only thing I know about this woman is that she had a friend named Mary, because there's just one little break between two of the slats on the bridge, and she looked down, and this is a grown-ass woman, and remember, she's kind of laughing, kind of crying, just saying, Mary, I can't do it, and her friend Mary saying, just step to the next plane. She couldn't do it. It is terrifying, man.
Yep. What is the thing you did one time, and would you do it again? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Bill. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how's it going?
Hola. Doing good, Bill. Positive Friday.
Well, back in I think it was the late 80s, maybe early 90s, Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes were in a cage match, and just before them was the Road Warriors and Russians in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And right after the Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes match, my buddy Jeff jumps in the ring, and he's standing, jumping around like he's a champ. And I came in behind him, and I climbed up the cage, stood on the top like Jimmy Superfly Snuka, and jumped down and landed right behind him. He bounced about 3 feet up in the air, kind of looked confused, looked around. I elbowed him once in the head. He went down, kicked my feet out from underneath me. We wrestled around on the mat for a second, and I got up with him on my shoulders and did my airplane spin. Knocked the referee. The referee had come back into the ring, was yelling at us to get out. I hit the referee upside the head with my buddy's feet, knocked him down, slammed my buddy down, and ran towards the corner of the cage where the door was, slid under the ropes and out of the cage. Turned around, and the ref had my buddy Jeff by the hair in the back of his pants, kicking him in the butt, and threw him out of the cage, only he hit the cage itself, piled all up. And the crowd just swarmed us. It was great.
Were you supposed to be wrestling, or did they invite you into?
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Would you guys just rush the ring?
Yep. The cops were after us and everything, but they couldn't get to us because of the crowd.
Wow.
Would you do it again?
Oh, definitely.
I had a
was
feeling.
champion for a night.
I'm surprised you didn't get your ass kicked too. You know, I don't know, by somebody.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
I let the spud ended up kicking the ref in the head with your buddy's legs.
What is the thing you did one time? Would you do it again? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Solomon. Welcome to the men's room.
How you doing?
Hola. We're doing good, man.
Hola. So, my experience was parasailing. I was with my entire family. It was like 70 of us who went for my grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary, and we chartered a boat. So our whole family was on it, and not the whole family, but there was no other members, just our family members. And so when you're parasailing, you get to use the control and dunk people as they're doing their parasailing. Well, I was the very last one, and I'm up there and I'm enjoying the view, and I'm looking over to the right, and I'm seeing this commotion in the water. I can't really tell what it is, but the closer I get, my brother's got the controls this time, and so he stops the boat, and I'm starting to plummet kind of fast towards where I can see it. I now realize there's a whale carcass with a shark feeding frenzy.
Oh my God!
Yeah, and so I'm literally going straight down to, on top of this thing. Before I can actually, touch it up with my butt, my dad sees what's going on because they're on the water level. They can't really see what the commotion was. But my dad was finally able to see. He hits the gas, and I had my feet up and my arms up in the stirrups of this thing. I literally pissed myself, and I thought I was going to die for sure. So I'll never parasail again.
Yeah,
I've never been in the ocean again since.
Where are you guys doing the anniversary party?
Oh, it was my grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary, so they actually paid for like 70 people in the family to go to Hawaii for 2 weeks.
So you're Hawaii. Okay, at least the water's warm. I mean, I'm not saying that's the. If you're
there was a feeding frenzy on a whale carcass. You could have died in comfortable water.
Yeah, 1992. I mean, my butt came like probably 2 or 3 feet from touching the carcass. That's how close I was, and you see your life flash in front of your eyes. Definitely.
How many sharks do you estimate were there?
Probably a dozen or more.
Jeez, man.
And you've never gone in the ocean since?
No, I never have. And they weren't necessarily big sharks either. I mean, they were just, I think they're probably all blue sharks, whatever's out there in Hawaii.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're in a feeding frenzy, and you're about to land on the whale carcass. That's
you can't make this stuff up, man. Yeah.
No, you can't. No, you're absolutely right.
Jesus Christ. Are you kidding
that's
me?
getting exciting.
How did he die? Look, man, I just did a prank. I didn't realize he landed on a whale carcass while sharks were eating it.
Jesus God.
God almighty, man. I mean,
well, I can't believe you never went in the ocean again.
I can't.
Well, you're not out in the deep part. Like, you would think at some point you would just take a vacation and be like, hey, I want to go swimming on the beach.
No,
Miles, my arms aren't long enough to close, and it's over here. It's this one.
Yeah. Oh, it's that one?
Yeah.
Right.
So the sun's blaring in here, but I have short little gator arms. Like Thrill was talking, but like I can see Miles was just like literally blinded.
I'm dying.
There you go, Thrill. A little farther.
All right.
There you go. Now you got him.
All right.
Now you can focus again. Focus in, man.
Another says, watching the ball drop on New Year's Eve in Times Square. Crowded, cold, full of drunk, rowdy people. It was an experience I'll always remember, but I'll never do again. I've never been to Times Square, but I have been to...
You never been to Times Square?
Not for New Year's Eve.
Oh, no.
But I have been to Las Vegas, and I'll tell you, that's a one-only trip.
Really?
It's
my buddies did it last year. They were going to a show at the Sphere. You got to keep in mind, though, it's New Year's Eve in Vegas. Not only is every restaurant booked, all the bars in your hotel are all reserved tables.
Correct.
Oh, God.
And it's not that Vegas has different. The crowd on New Year's Eve is a different crowd. It is a New Year's Eve crowd.
Correct. In Vegas.
And it's a lot different. Vegas is great anytime. As far as just having a good time. You don't need New Year's Eve, but they do shut down the Strip. And they make it so that it's just a little more raucous, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah.
So the people who are normally just having a good time, now they are all in. I mean, it is packs of people. There are fights. There's just, it's a lot.
Well, New Year's Eve is like a wedding. People that don't even usually partake in drugs or alcohol will, especially alcohol.
But
If
you're going there for that night, no matter what you do the rest of the time, that night, Every single person there is throwing down. That is going to be the night where they get a little bit crazy. And it's a very weird environment based on the fact that the people who want to go there for that are doing exactly that, and they're taking it to 11. So, every other night was fine, but that night was just like, man,
it's too much.
This is a little bit weird of a vibe. It just like, I don't know how much longer I want to hang out. I want to ring in the new year and all that.
Yeah.
But man, as soon as it starts getting close, everyone's out on the street.
Well, and you forget, too, with
Streets are packed.
Vegas, that's a world city, right? That's
Yes.
a destination. So even if you go to a festival or a concert out here, right, like, it's mostly going to be people from the Northwest.
Correct.
So you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas, like, people, frankly, like in Baltimore and stuff, just party different.
Yes, they do.
So, but in Vegas, it's all a mixture of people.
Everybody.
Correct. So, I mean, that's what I always thought was a little different. Plus, I mean, I am just not a New Year's Eve person. So it's like, New Year's Eve in Vegas.
It seemed like a good idea at the time. And then, of course, Seattle gets hit with a major snowstorm.
Right.
And it's an ice storm. And it's bad. And nobody can fly in and out of SeaTac for days. I'm supposed to fly back New Year's Day. Well, that gets canceled. At about 6 o'clock on New Year's Day, Vegas starts to shut down. And when I mean shut down, I mean shut down. Every performer, if anyone takes a vacation, if anyone gets time off, Vegas is done on January the 2nd. And we were there. And yes, you can get a reservation. There are restaurants that are closed down.
Right.
I mean, the restaurants that people go to, everybody has those days off. It's universally known.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I'm just stuck there. I'm like, even Penn and Teller weren't doing shows. I mean, you name the person who performs every single, the Osmonds, whoever the hell it is. They're not performing it. Nobody is. There's no usher.
I mean, I imagine New Year's Day, there'd still be some partiers, but by the 2nd, everybody's going to be done.
You cannot believe walking through a card room and there's one dealer.
Right. In Vegas.
The whole place is just, everyone just goes home. Still to come, the return of Ted versus the FCC at 4:35. And we've got your emails coming up next. The men's room at KISW.com.
The brand new Grand Casino and Shoreline is now open. Step into the action with Vegas-style table games like Baccarat, Heads Up Hold'em Poker, Pai Gow, Blackjack, and High Card Flush. Feeling hungry? Feast on delicious Chinese, Vietnamese, and continental dishes, plus breakfast favorites. Dine in or take out. And don't miss daily happy hours from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. to midnight. Grand Casino and Shoreline off Aurora. Open daily from 9 a.m. to 4 a.m. Visit GrandCasinoGaming.com. Welcome to the Grand Experience.
So I used Gemini for the first time the other day, and the most impressive thing to me was just talking to it. You go live with it, and then it's just like you're having a conversation. You can just talk about your day or have it explain something to you or start brainstorming ideas. Let me give you an example. I pretended I have a job interview coming up and asked it to help me prep for the interview. It immediately started suggesting common questions I might get asked. Then I started talking through my answers out loud, and it would give me feedback. And it's all happening in real time, like I'm talking to a career coach or something. That's just what I tried first, but you can talk to it about anything. And I honestly think that's the magic of it, how you can just have this back and forth, and it's all seamless. If you haven't tried it yet, it's definitely worth checking out. You'll see what I mean.
If you're thinking about GLP-1s for weight loss, listen up. You must make sure you're maintaining your muscle mass while you're losing weight. Otherwise, you can slow your metabolism and regain the weight. Almacid, a natural superfood protein shake, has been scientifically proven to preserve muscle mass. It optimizes and supercharges your metabolism so you can lose weight easily. Use Almacid with GLP-1s or as a natural alternative. Find out more and see the university studies at almacid.com. That's ALMASED.com.
At Cardinal Heating and Air, we elevate your comfort with expert HVAC solutions in the greater Seattle area. Our decades of experience have fostered lasting relationships built on quality service. Whether you need AC repair, heating repair, routine maintenance, a new installation, or an emergency fix, you can trust Cardinal Heating and Air, now offering electrical services. Experience the exceptional service and peace of mind that Cardinal Heating and Air delivers today and for years to come.
This podcast is brought to you by Kleenex Lotion Tissues,
You can't predict sick days, but with Kleenex lotion tissues, you can be better prepared for them while helping keep your skin healthy. Whether it's a surprise sneeze or a stuffy nose, it's always good to have something gentle on hand. Kleenex lotion tissues moisturize to help prevent skin irritation while you're battling those unwanted cold and flu symptoms. It's extra care when you need it most. I mean, why not have one less thing to worry about when you're not feeling your best? For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
I recently found out that you can see a personal dietitian covered by insurance. There's this platform called Nourish that will match you with a dietitian based on whatever your concerns are, whether that's weight loss, eating disorders, autoimmune conditions, or something else. They're actually a network with major insurance providers, so most patients pay $0 out of pocket. 94% of patients pay $0 out of pocket. Find your dietitian at usenourish.com. That's usenourish.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Fly Condor Airlines nonstop to Frankfurt and connect effortlessly to most European destinations. Relax and start your vacation in comfort. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today and book your next adventure.
Hey, anyone know what channel the game's on? We know. Download the Sports on What app today and always know how to watch the game. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Subscribe today to start your 7-day free trial. Sports on What? We know.
We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Ah, there you go. There we go. Coming up at, I guess, about 5:08, we will drink and toast with a shot of the day into the weekend. Then it's Bad Choice Friday time.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
Come on. Today is what we call a Men's Room Dealer's Choice Bad Choice Friday. Simply vote for one of the members of the show that you believe picked the best tune. If you follow us on X at Men's Room Live, vote for Steve, Ted, or myself. Just pick who you think's going to play the best tune. Mm-hmm. And according to Ted, who knows all these songs, we've all picked pretty good Friday afternoon
But we
songs
don't know what Ted has picked, you see. Ted knows
you guys don't know what I picked.
I don't know what you picked. So
I like all of them, but...
is there anyone that stands out?
Actually, yeah, Thrill's pick is really good. I hadn't thought about that song in years.
It's a great tune,
And then
right?
I was getting stuff set up for the show, and I was like, God damn, man, I love the song.
I know. It's awesome.
Do you have a second, Ted, to pull up the voting right now?
I just looked at it.
Okay, who's in the lead?
It's Thrill's in the lead.
By a lot?
He's at like 37%. I think I'm at 33, and you're right behind me.
Okay, all right. So vote for me now. If you follow us on X,
or me. Continue to vote for me.
And Mike is just out of town today. He'll be back next week.
He's in North Carolina.
Good news.
Hey, he was enjoying the local cuisine at the airport. He had some Bojangles.
Oh, good.
Oh,
no kidding.
Man.
Yeah.
What'd he get?
I don't know.
You didn't ask him?
Well, it was like right before the show. I was trying to set stuff up.
I love Bojangles.
He just sent me, he goes, I'm eating Bojangles. Like, attaboy.
Yeah, man.
Nice work. Okay, let's see. Ted versus the FCC is coming up at 4:35. But first, time for a few emails to the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
As we jump right into birthdays, guys, it's my best friend Bry's 30th birthday today. She is a big fan of the show. Want to give her a big shout out. Can I get a Homer Simpson fish sandwich?
Is it Bry or Bree?
It's B-R-Y. So I'm assuming it's
Brian.
The only Brian I know is a dude. The games.
Well, maybe Bree. Sorry. So fish sandwich, Homer Simpson style. Turtle sex, and Coach Ted giving her a pep talk on how best to live in her 30s. Also, the Dirty Germans telling her why she should she should take care of her boyfriend. Thanks so much.
That's not what it says.
That's all the best. And from Jimbo.
Fish sandwich. Are you sure?
Yeah. Move.
All right, how to live your best 30s. Honestly, just go out there and dominate. All right, listen, soon you'll be 40, but hey, 30's the new 20s. 30's the new 40s, whatever. Go out there and have fun. You're still in your 30s. right? You shouldn't be aching that much. You don't have that weird pain in your shoulder because you slept on it wrong. The doctor's like, we call that old man shoulder. You don't have to deal with that yet, so you're good to go.
Yeah, I believe the email said why she should smoke her man's meats, and I think it's self-explanatory, but I would use your mouth as the smoker.
Yeah, it's like in America, you have the Slim Jims. Before you snap into it, you just suck on it for a while.
Well, I'm not no disrespect to her boyfriend, but shouldn't she be the one getting something on her birthday?
Maybe that's what she really likes to do, man.
Yeah, Miles.
Like, hey, and he breaks it out as a treat. Hey, it's your birthday. Give me a mouth hug.
Hunker down.
All right. Guys, Ola, it is my 35th birthday today, so can I get some dirty Germans, please? That from Joe the plumber.
Yeah, Joe the plumber, you don't mind being around the poop. That is good, because I don't mind being around the poop either.
Yeah, you know, it's very interesting the way Joe uses a plunger on a female.
Yeah.
Patel's going to get a shout-out for my gal, Jennifer, a.k.a. Sugar Boobs. Another year older and aging like a fine wine. Let's hit her with a cut that bitch off. The captain sharing what he knows about biomedical science. And some dad jokes from Miles. Thanks, fellas. Rock on that from Brent in Ole.
What was he looking for?
Cut that bitch off.
Oh, you got it.
Next call.
And the captain.
El Capitan.
Ooh, well, ahoy there. What do we know about biomedical science? Well, we know it's a multidisciplinary field that applies scientific methods to healthcare and public health. It involves studying the human body and developing new technologies and testing treatments for disease. And we're very interested in the treatments for disease ever since the SS Guppy anchored off the coast of Taiwan. That's where us mascots visited a local brothel while high on paint fumes. Anyway, the following morning, a few of us had a burning and itching sensation in the downstairs region. Now, so far, no doctors know exactly what it is, but they say it's definitely an STD of some kind. So that's why we're very interested in your biomedical science, because it burns. Crunch bears.
Dad Joke Friday. All right, Jennifer, a.k.a. Sugar Boobs.
Sugar Boobs.
Did you guys know that Stevie Nicks once turned down a marriage proposal from William Shatner?
No.
Stevie Nicks turned down a marriage proposal from William Shatner. She said she didn't want to be known as Stevie Shatner Nicks. That's a good one, huh? Yeah. Fleetwood Mac joke. Guys, my doctor told me I had a very good prostate.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah?
I was deeply touched. Ted, you should know this one. What does Mickey Mouse's wife drive?
What?
A minivan.
That's right there.
And finally, what do you call a locksmith with a lisp? What do you call a locksmith with a lisp?
I don't know.
What?
Keith.
Had to be a name, right? Stephanie. Steven.
That's what I got. Hello, dinosaurs. Today is my older sister's 38th birthday. Can I get a you and your girl and your Johnson? The Dirty Germans talking about Monty Python. And some advice from Coke Ted on what Hannah should do now that she's 2 years away from turning 40. Thanks, guys. That from the lovely Lydia.
You, your girl, and your Johnson.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of Monty Python, only because the nickname for my penis is the Mighty Python.
Yeah, by the end of the night, you'll be the one saying, yee. All right, man, going out there, you got to go party. How long? What do they need to know here about?
Basically what they can do with a couple years away from turning 40. Coke Ted.
Couple years away from turning 40, that's perfect. Honestly, I'd start with an 8-ball, go out, get 2 8-balls. You won't do them all in one night. You probably will. Doesn't matter. Either way, go out, go to a bar, have fun, slam shots, do something stupid, and take an Uber home. And on the way home, get 2 more 8-balls. Stand for the whole weekend. Who cares? You don't need to eat.
Oh, God.
Just tell people you're sweaty because you're hot.
All right. Let's see.
Oh, God. I have seen people the next day sometimes, and it's just like not a party environment. It's just like, are you okay? I had a long night. Like, you are dripping sweat.
Bro, the last time we were in Vegas, I would just say there was some product that no one else was consuming anymore. So I did my best to get through this bag, man. And I was probably up until like 5:30 in the morning. It's no joke. And I mean, I couldn't do it all. Anyway, get to the airport. I am shaking. I am sweating. And basically, everyone looked at me and said, that guy's high on cocaine. And it's like, you are correct. But I couldn't finish the bag, so I just put it in the top drawer next to the Bible in Vegas. I figure whoever goes there next will probably be happy to make the score or house cleaning.
I've been on the opposite end just from booze in Vegas. Like, we're sitting there. This was years ago. We were all there. Miles, it's like 11 a.m. It's not crazy. Miles like, you want to get a beer? I go, no. And he goes, why? I go, I'm going to puke. Like, seriously, I was like, if I take a sip, I might throw up.
Birthday shout out, guys, for Wyatt Only.
Oh, Wyatt, happy birthday, dude.
Brother. Today's my bestie's birthday. I think you know him, and I need you all to help me celebrate him. I don't care what voices you use, as long as you make our boy laugh until he pees himself. Wyatt is a ridiculously special person to my heart. His existence makes my world better every day, and I'd be lost without his friendship, love, and trust, and without his laughter and his music and his madness. So please tell him that I said happy birthday, Angel Boy. Thank you for your friendship, for loving me like you do, for seeing me, your trust, making me laugh, for your beautiful heart and your music, and for choosing to stay. I went for the music, but I found a best friend who means more than anything. So thank you for that. And I love you to hell and back. Thanks so much. Appreciate you all making his birthday special. That from Jackie. I think that knowing Wyatt, maybe not knowing them that well, Coke Ted, do you have any advice on how he should spend his birthday?
Brother, we've done blow together.
Damn it. All right, well, I don't know what birthday it is for you, but you're in a rock band. You know how this goes. Go to the venue. This night, you're not working. Stay backstage. Do Coke. Wait for that other drummer, the weird one from the other local band. He'll come back with bad Coke. Send him out of the room. You got your own bag. It's your birthday. Stay up till sunrise. Pet a cat. Eat a breakfast.
Pet a cat. And by the way, Wyatt, you really should name your band Quiet Wyatt. I mean, it's right there.
Quiet Wyatt.
Welcome to Quiet Wyatt.
Oh, man. Coke Ted's getting tired.
Yeah, I have partied many times with this Mr. Wyatt, man. And all these things that Jackie says, they are true, but also he has a very high tolerance for lots of things.
Yeah.
Including butt stuff.
Ironically, one of the last times I saw him was last year at a festival. So did he know I was still upstairs? He's like, what are you doing up here? I was like, does it not smell up here?
That's the last time I saw him. And I came down to these studios, right?
Nice.
And he's like, oh, yeah, man, you got the new digs. God, I kind of miss your old place. Man, we did a lot of drugs in your old studio. I'm like, yes, we did. Yes, we did.
All right, Wyatt, here's some dad jokes for you. Ted, what do you call a person engaged to Beyonce? What do you call someone engaged to Beyonce?
Jay-Z?
Fiance.
Beyonce.
A woman in labor shouts, shouldn't, wouldn't, didn't, couldn't. Don't worry, said the doctor. Those are contractions.
It's an English joke.
Oh.
Apostrophe T. See?
I'm like, I do not get that.
Your mama's so ugly.
Yeah? How ugly is she?
Your mom is so ugly, your dad wakes up with morning wouldn't. One more dad joke for you, Wyatt. Word of the day, butternuts.
Butternuts?
Butternuts. She told me she was a chick, butternut. Gentlemen, my amazing husband Kyle turns 40 today.
Yeah.
And would love a birthday shout out. Can we get Coke Ted pumping him up about turning 40 and how cool it will be when he finally gets his Porsche up and running? Thank you guys from his crazy Cuban wife, Terry.
Well, the good news is, first of all, we know we're getting the Coke. That's our Cuban wife. Second of all, let's do so much Coke that Porsche never gets fixed. That's the old thing. Let's go outside and work on the Porsche. Jesus Christ. All right. See, you need a guy like Coke Ted recommending more drugs when you have a car straight out front. You never work. Yeah.
People love Coke Ted.
Oh, do they?
I'm just looking at the text, dude. Yeah, Coke Ted is a hit.
I am stone sober. This is a prime reason I have never done Coke.
Yes. That's why it's so ironic that you do it so well.
I know.
Holman Show is me, a fellow West Virginian, and my husband Tim, a fellow Marylander. Listens daily to your show on our way to the gym after work. Can you please give him a shout out for his 48th trip around the sun? He forgot mine. That was 2 days ago.
Oh.
Could you give a Leroy Jenkins, some green beans, and a delightful story from the captain and the mascots about how they handle their bombs and explosives? Thank you, guys, and rock on. That from the lovely Christina.
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
Ted will need a little green bean action, I think.
Sorry, I'm texting Mike. Would you get a Bojangles? Green beans.
Green beans.
That should be in the regular area,
Well,
Miles.
not then.
We use it a lot.
The captain works as well.
Ooh, well, ahoy there. I guess I'll talk to you on Ted. Looks for green beans, which oddly enough kind of plays into you wondering what us mascots do with bombs and explosives. Well, originally we were hired by many a different international warlord to dispose of their bombs and explosives, but do it responsibly. Then the Jolly Green Giant came along, and when he started hanging out, he said, "Why are you doing that with the bombs and explosives?" Well, as it turns out, he's into butt stuff. So now we take the explosives, he uses them as a suppository, and he says on his third hoe, anytime he's doing a commercial, to detonate them, because it gets him going. So anytime you see a commercial with the Jolly Green Giant, he says, ho, ho, ho. Know that when he says that last ho, we detonated an explosive in his rectum. And he loves it. Crunch berries.
Green bean.
What?
Green bean.
Okay.
Green bean.
Guys, I want to wish my Silver Fox husband, Matt, a very happy 50th birthday. Can I get Coach Ted? I give him a pep talk on turning 50 and the Dirty Germans wishing him a happy birthday. You guys are awesome. Thank you. That from Katie in Port Orchard.
What's this guy's name?
His name is Matt. He's 50 years old.
Matt, you're turning 50. So just basically, Coach's advice today is do everything. Don't do anything Coach Ted said. All right, that's the bottom line. We're turning 50. Age catches up with you. Other than that, have fun. Enjoy those over-the-hill cards.
Yeah, I understand that you're a silver fox. Yeah, that is about the hair on your head. I can't wait to see you downstairs.
Yeah, it's silver, too. Silver and gold. It's like a robot down there.
Let's see. Texas came in. Kind of late to the party. Please say happy birthday to Opie, the manager at Earl's and the Ave and part owner. He's just so much fun to be around. Smiles all the time, and he really likes when random strangers go up to hug him. I believe that. So let's give him your penis is too small and whatever else you think is appropriate.
Mm-hmm. I was at Earl's a few weeks ago. Actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just an old school bar.
So make sure you go up and give Opie a hug, because apparently he loves that kind of thing.
It's not just labeled penis.
Penis too small, teeny tiny penis, little member.
Penis.
Can you find the penis?
Penis. I think you're made of clay.
Just give him whatever.
No, Ted's hunting for that penis.
Yeah, I mean, it should be right here.
Where's the penis?
Come on, Ted.
Are you me?
No.
Holy
None of that's a penis. Where's the penis?
Oh, man. Pressure's on.
Come on, Ted. The man just wants a penis.
Golly chestnut!
Nah, that's not a penis.
He's got one, though. There's no penis.
Look, I know it's in here. Hang on. It's a lot of fish sandwiches.
You can't find the penis.
Boston J, Jeb Bush, Pure, blah, 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 blah.
There's no penis.
I'm sorry. There it is.
All right. Yeah. There you go, Opie.
Lower right.
All right, guys, here you go. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Okay, Ted, do you think it's time that we go back in time to the last time that we played Ted versus the FCC? If we could, let's go back in time.
Sherry's new sofa was shipped from Shack of Sit. Sherry sits and sips cherry soda on her sofa from Shack of Sit. Your sofa will ship quick if you shop at Shack of Sit.
3 times fast.
Sherry's new sofa was shipped from Shack of Sit. Sherry sits and sips cherry soda on her sofa from Shack of Sit. Your sofa will ship quick if you shop at Shack of Sit.
One.
Sherry's new sofa was shipped from Shack of Sit. Sherry sits and sips cherry soda from her sofa on her Shack of Sit. Your soda will ship quick if you shop at Shack of Sit.
2.
Sherry's new sofa was shipped from Shack of Sit. Sherry sits and sips cherry soda on her sofa from Shack of Sit. Your sofa will ship quick if you shop at Shack of Sit.
Oh, my. Here we go. Big win at Ted versus the FCC. Let's do it again.
And now, everyone's favorite daytime game show, where one person could lose $325,000 and their job, or win and walk away with nothing. It's time for Ted versus the FCC.
Would you believe a coworker came up with a Ted versus the FCC? I can't even believe a coworker was physically present.
I can't either. We actually had one in the radio station.
My God.
I counted 3 employees at Odyssey, Seattle. They were here today on a sunny Friday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately,
Fake spring.
One of them brought us a Ted versus the FCC. You know him as the legendary Veggie Dog. Everyone.
Okay, all right.
VD dropped this on my desk today, Ted. It's a good one. It has to do with your new lifestyle choice of being Coke Ted. This one goes a little something like this, courtesy of Veggie Dog. Ted cannot quit Coke. He snorts Coke, sucks Coke, sits, shifts, sits, cuts, shakes, shifts, sits, and shouts, I can't cut Coke on the clock. What a crock. Now, the way we do Ted versus the FCC, 1 time through, 3 time fast. You just worry about the winner and the loser bet on this one since we're short-staffed. I'll handle the dump button and everything else. Okay?
Will you?
Maybe.
I can't find it. Where did that pesky dump button go?
All right. Ted can't quit Coke. He snorts Coke, sucks Coke, sits, shifts, sits, cuts, shakes, shifts, sits, and shouts, I can't cut Coke on the clock. What a crock.
3 times fast.
Ted can't quit Coke. He snorts Coke, sucks Coke, sits, shifts, sits, cuts, shakes, shifts, sits, and shouts, I can't cut Coke on the clock. What a crock.
1.
Ted can't quit Coke. He snorts Coke, sucks Coke, sits, shifts, sits, cuts, shakes, shifts, sits, and shouts, I can't cut Coke on the clock. What a crock.
2.
Ted can't quit Coke. He snorts Coke, sucks Coke, sits, shifts, sits, cuts, shakes, shifts, sits, and shouts, I can't cut Coke on the clock. What a crock.
Oh, there you go. Another win. It's Ted versus the FCC. Nice job. There you go. All right, coming up at 5:08, we'll drink a toast with a shot of the day. You are listening to the Men's Room.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. You know what's sneaky? A bunch of big corporations buying up local companies you know and love, gutting them, and keeping the name. But you know who's not a sellout? Pinky's Plumbing. That's right. Pinky's Plumbing's values start with their work ethic, honesty, how they treat their employees, and how they care for their customers. Bigger isn't always better, and that's a fact. You should know you're working with a locally owned company that truly values where they live and work. Pinky's Plumbing. Pinky'sPlumbing.com.
Hiring is a lonely business. Posting jobs, sifting through resumes, interviews with unqualified applicants, being ghosted. What if you could link with dozens of qualified candidates who are ready to work right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, the workforce you need. Problem solved. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Where'd you get those shoes? Easy. They're from DSW. Because DSW has the exact right shoes for whatever you're into right now. You know, like the sneakers that make office hours feel like happy hour. The boots that turn grocery aisles into runways. And all the styles that show off the many sides of you, from daydreamer to multitasker and everything in between. Because you do it all in really great shoes. Find a shoe for every you at your DSW store or DSW.com.
Plug in a Hyundai EV and the extraordinary happens. From the charge time and range in the Ioniq 5 and 6 to the adventurous spirit of the Kona Electric to the 601 horsepower Ioniq 5N. Hyundai EVs make the extraordinary electrifying. There's joy in every journey.
EPA estimated 303-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 5 SE SEL Limited rear-wheel drive and 361-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 6 SE long-range rear-wheel drive with fully charged battery. Actual range may vary. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
All right, Dakota, it's 5:08. We will drink and toast the weekend with the shot of the day. And we also have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check-in with Mike Hawk for some of the stories and headlines he is not working on. And since he's not here, he is really not working on those.
What did he get at Bojangles, by the way? Did he text you back?
He got a chicken sandwich and fries, and now he is at a barbecue place. Where's he at? Winston-Salem.
All right.
I told him not to get brisket, but he said they told him brisket is why they're famous. So he put brisket on there, sweet potato casserole, which I liked, and I think he got greens.
Okay. Damn. There's a big parade of planets tonight with 7 planets visible in the night sky. Experts say the best time to look around is about dusk. Now, they say you might only see 4 or 5. Saturn is pretty close to the sun right now, and you need a telescope or binoculars to see Uranus and Neptune. So grab your binoculars.
And look at Uranus.
They do call it a parade because they're all lined up in the sky, and it will not happen again until 2040.
Oh, wow.
40.
So, look, right now, as of right now.
Yeah, the sky's clear, man. We rarely get that. Anytime there's some celestial event between like September and May, we get that.
Speaking of space.
What time should we go out and look at it specifically?
Dusk. As they say
so coming up.
Yeah.
Get your binocular out, nerds.
And look at Uranus.
More nerd news. It turns out the space station might be too sterile. A lack of germs could be giving astronauts rashes and cold sores, which they have been experiencing. That the space station is actually too sterile.
Did they explain how that you're getting rashes?
Not working on it.
And sores.
Because of sterility.
Wow, okay.
Here's news, space-wise. Katy Perry is going into outer space.
Oh, God.
Like, for real. She is joining an all-female crew on board one of Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin space flights. She'll be joined by Gayle King from CBS Mornings, Bezos' fiance, Lauren Sanchez, and 3 other women, an aerospace engineer, a civil rights activist, and a filmmaker. Now, Lauren reportedly brought the mission together. The launch tentatively scheduled for this spring. She says, quote, honored to lead a team of explorers on a mission that will challenge their perspectives of Earth, empower them to share their own stories, and create lasting impact that will inspire generations to come.
She's going to go up in the air and like a firework.
The thing that well played. What bugged me about it was Katy Perry. I can't explain it. For whatever reason, when she talks, it annoys me. There's something about her personality that just drives me nuts. And the idea of her going into space and then coming back and telling us about it. Look, I'm a space nerd. When she talks about it, I'm going to hate space. I know this.
It just sounds like a bunch of California girls getting together.
I'm honored to be among this diverse group of celestial sisters.
Oh, my God.
Celestial sisters.
Think they'll make out?
Say that?
What's that?
That was Katy Perry.
Yeah.
See, it's already annoying. You know, I don't know what it is about her. I'm like, please, not her.
They should take up Left Shark.
Who the heck? What?
Remember when she did her Super Bowl performance? Left Shark kind of forgot, forgot the dance moves. Was just kind of doing his own thing. Like, throw Left Shark in there.
Why not?
Oh, let's say more science news. Wolves, they say now, may have domesticated themselves 30,000 years ago. Do you know why wolves domesticated themselves with human beings 30,000 years ago?
Fire.
Nope. Keep guessing. It makes sense.
Cooked meat.
Treats.
Yeah.
The T word that you cannot say around any dog.
They just start, like, the humans just naturally were like, here, wolf.
You throw something to it, then the wolves were like, you know what, man, we don't have to hunt and put ourselves in danger because these 2-legged hairless monkeys, they just hand us stuff. And then they even said that some of the wolves that may have domesticated themselves would then look for mates that also like the idea of, like, hey, let's get our food for free, man.
It's the T word, man.
I mean, it kind of makes sense, though. What's like every time you see a celebrity, especially, that's made it super rich and everything, they talk about how once you've got all the money, people just give you S for free.
Yep.
It's the same thing. The wolf was in charge. It's the alpha animal. We were scared. It's like, here, take a treat.
And it's like, all right, cool. They said the same thing with cats. right? We started agriculture, so we started storing grain and stuff, and all the mice. So the cats came in, take care of the mice, and once the cats realized, like, hey, listen, man, as long as you kill the mice and eat them, the two-legged hairless monkeys, they will hook you up, bro.
Yep. Speaking of your dog, a daily pill to extend Fido's lifespan could be on the market very soon. It is an anti-aging pill created by biotech startup Loyal, and it has been certified by the FDA as having a reasonable expectation of effectiveness, according to the Washington Post. The CEO says the recognition is a key step toward extending dogs' lives. She believes the FDA will certify the drug as being safe before the end of the year, clearing the way for vets to prescribe it for dogs 10 years or older that weigh at least 14 pounds. Loyal says the drug is a result of research on how to deliver the life-extending effects of caloric restriction without having to give dogs restrictive diets. And they say the findings could extend to human lives. It's harder to win that approval, though, for human treatments from the FDA. If we can successfully delay the onset and severity of age-related diseases in dogs, it's compelling evidence that it possibly could do the same for humans. Now, the CEO of the company says she wants to keep the cost below $100 a month to encourage widespread use instead of jacking up the price and getting the millionaire dog on the drug to live longer.
Right.
So that's good news as far as that is concerned. Speaking of pets, believe it or not, about 20 states allow for the keeping of raccoons as pets.
Oh, all right.
And if Stephen Casper is successful in his latest mission, Kansas will be the next one. The resident is behind a bill to legalize raccoon ownership with clear evidence that proper regulation could ensure public safety and animal welfare. Per the proposed legislation, owners would need to have the raccoon vaccinated against rabies, take it in for regular vet checkups, and complete an educational program on caring for the raccoon. Casper also recommends that ownership permits only be given out if individuals buy a raccoon from a licensed breeder, meaning it's not permissible to just bring one out of your backyard into your house.
I'm a licensed breeder of raccoons.
Yes.
Don't just grab one and make it a pet.
He says he's been training wild raccoons in his home for years, calls his interactions with the ring-tailed mammal the highlight of my life. These are the things you do when you become an empty nester, he says. A lot of people have them.
Right.
I don't realize they're not legal pets. He's also lobbying for bill and says he has a lot of wild pets, and he's grown up on a farm his entire life.
Where's he from?
He is from Iowa. No, Kansas. Sorry.
Kansas.
Kansas. I mean, if you're an empty nester in Kansas, I mean, I guess it's that boring.
Might as well, right?
I think when training raccoons is the highlight of your life, you should also reflect on the life you've led.
Yes.
Yeah, and if it's an empty nester, is that kind of essing on his kids?
Kids moved out and turned to raccoons.
I mean, you got to find something to take care of, right?
It's just rare that someone would be like, the highlight of my life, raising raccoons. Like, you have 3 children.
Kids are like, yo, Dad, man.
We go to the...
a little something, you know, for the effort.
Smith family beer garden and popcorn stand, Beverly, Massachusetts.
All right.
Authorities are asking for the public's help finding a man accused of mistaking a local bar for a bathroom. According to Beverly police, the patron turned a local drinking establishment into their personal bathroom by urinating all over the top of the bar while standing on the stool.
Good Lord, man.
Not only is this disgusting, but it's also incredibly disrespectful to the staff and patrons. Police wrote in a social media post.
Really? You had to explain that.
Anyone with information about the incident or the man responsible is asked to reach out to Beverly authorities. He ran out. They still can't find him. Let's keep our local establishments a place for good times, not peeing on the bar.
Somebody knows him.
According to police, they have a picture of him.
Guaranteed.
There's no way, right? Yeah. Unless he's from out of state, but like somebody's got to know this dude.
You would think so.
And why would you pee on a bar, man?
Mm-hmm. You ever been to a bar and seen somebody doing that? I've been in a bar and seen somebody just so out of it, just peeing on the floor.
Yes.
Standing there. And it's
have too.
It's
while
like
waiting in line for a beer.
And it's like, dude.
Yes.
Do you have any idea what you're doing?
They're waiting in line for a beer and they were peeing.
Oh, yeah.
Brother, maybe you don't need the beer.
I was with them.
Oh,
that's worse.
I was with them.
So my friends have a story. I didn't go on the trip, but same thing.
I'm leaving. They're standing at the bar and they were peeing underneath the bar.
Oh.
And thought it was funny.
So he was doing that on purpose.
Yes.
The story I have
for
from
me. Well, that's awfully quiet.
My
What's your
buddies,
story, Ted?
one of their friends, basically, they got so hammered, they're like in a booth, and he just stood up and started going. But I think he was so blacked out he didn't know what he was doing.
Yes. Speaking of penis, they say don't let the cold weather keep you from heating up in the bedroom. A doctor is warning you watch out for winter penis, a seasonal condition that may be a hinder to a man's ability to perform sexually.
Oh, I thought that was the Captain America spinoff. Captain America, the winter penis?
Yep. No more soldier, winter penis.
Yeah, winter penis.
Most of the country is still
Hey, but he's white again.
in the dead of winter. And male genitalia recedes into the body to maintain body heat.
Let me sneak back in here.
Resulting in restricted blood flow. Yes, it goes into hibernation. The phenomenon, which affects men of all ages, can cause the male member to shrink in size up to 50% during the winter.
Damn.
While the slowed circulation makes achieving an erection difficult when the thermostat also drops. A doctor explained it. He said winter penis is a passing condition for most men, occurring only during frigid conditions and reversing once the temperature recovers. For the 30 million American men with erectile dysfunction, however, the occurrence can be more difficult to manage due to additional underlying issues that block blood flow to the penis. In some cases, physicians may prescribe medications to help stave off the mitigating effects of winter penis, particularly for men with erectile dysfunction. And they say while winter penis should not be worrying for most, cured simply by warming up the body, any shrinkage that outlasts the cool temps should be noted by a doctor, as they could point out additional health concerns.
Look at this. Yeah, we can prescribe medications like put a hand warmer in your underwear. I mean, to me, like, hey, if it's a matter of being cold, like, let's warm it up.
Yeah, and it's like, sorry, it's just winter penis.
You know me, more penis news.
Yeah, all right.
A German football clash between FC Taxi 2 and Rot-Weiss Mulheim in painful circumstances, with referee Stefan Koller abandoning the match before he had even blown the whistle.
So it hasn't even started.
Correct.
And he goes, we got to end this.
As he checked over the players before the game, a child of one of the players ran up to him and bit him in the testicle.
Jeez, man.
He buckled over and, presumably in quite a lot of pain, had no choice but to call off the game. The two clubs will now have their match rescheduled for later in the season. In the refereeing report, Koller said, while I was checking the FC Taxi player's ID, a small child was doing warm-up exercises alongside the players. He came closer and closer to me. Then suddenly, to my complete surprise, gave me a sharp bite in my left testicle. I did not start the game because the pain was so intense. I was in the situation I was in. It was the child of one of the players who was to blame. Now, the clubs are currently battling in the 8th tier of the German Football League.
Oh, 8th tier?
FC Taxi.
I think I could play in that.
3rd. When the match is rescheduled, though, Kaler will not be allowed to officiate. And if he is, well, probably, they say, consider wearing some form of protective gear.
Damn.
If it comes
Also,
down.
like, that's pretty bad parenting. Like, I understand kids can bite.
Yeah.
But, like, what is going on where your kid is biting a dude in the junk?
And specifically, the left testicle.
What goes on at that house?
Yes.
Would you know?
Fast food news. What's the weirdest thing that made you feel old? Here's a new option. Taco Bell's Crunchwrap Supreme is turning 20 years old this week.
Wow.
Damn.
It was their most successful
Happy birthday, Crunchwrap Supreme.
Happy.
Now their most successful launch goes to Nacho Fries, which debuted in 2018. Now they are marking the 20th anniversary with a new mini Crunchwrap option called Crunchwrap Sliders. There's only one kind, steak and queso, half the size, but you get two. And they come with a green chili queso dipping sauce. Not clear how long they'll be selling them, but they are listed as a limited time thing on the menu.
I mean, that seems to be the new thing, right?
What's that?
You just take whatever your product is and, like,
make it smaller.
Yeah, and,
sell it for less.
Credit to Taco Bell. They've done this with a couple other things. And then they're just like, well, they're smaller, but it comes with a dipping sauce and we throw cheese on it.
Yep.
It's like, all right, I'm back in.
Why not? As you know, the end of February is tonight. Tomorrow we head into March.
Yep.
And here are some things to look forward to in the month of March.
Oh, my birthday, and you're done.
You will be 56.
That is correct.
Damn.
If I make
Lawrence
it that long.
Taylor year.
Yes, the Lawrence Taylor year.
That's right. There's only like 2 or 3 months we're the same age.
Mm-hmm.
We're in that window. All right.
St. Patrick's Day, Miles.
You know what? That's on the list. Number 1, though, the most important thing in my world, daylight saving time starts next Sunday, March the 9th. Now, you will lose an hour of sleep that night, but it won't get dark so early in the afternoon anymore. Then March 20th is the first day of spring.
All right.
Okay? Also, it's almost March Madness time.
Yep.
Selection Sunday is March the 16th. Then the men get started on the 18th, and the women's tournament starts up the very next day. Also, the new Major League Baseball season starts in a few weeks. The Cubs and Dodgers play the first series in Japan, believe it or not, on March 18th, and that counts. Opening day for everyone else is March 27th. So 9 days later. So they're over in Japan, and those games, without question, they mark on the schedule for wins and losses.
Okay. All right. So it matters.
They did the same thing with the games they played in London last year, right?
Yep, that is correct.
Because they made that weird... I mean, it's hard to make a baseball field out of a soccer pitch, but they did it.
Mm-hmm. Other stuff, things to look forward to on TV. The Oscars are coming up on Sunday night. Grey's Anatomy and 911 return for their sixth season. Return on the 6th. American Idol and the Righteous Gemstones show are back on the 9th. And John Mulaney's got a new Netflix talk show that premieres on the 12th. Bill Burr has a new stand-up special on Hulu on the 14th. Seth Rogen has a new Apple TV series, The Studio, starting on the 26th. And The Simpsons returns for its 37th season on March the 30th. And finally, we do have some holidays in the month of March. The big ones are Ramadan. That actually starts tonight.
All right.
Lent starts next Wednesday. March 8th is International Women's Day. Purim starts on the 13th and the 17th. That would be St. Patty's Day.
St. Patty's Day.
Yep. And there's also National Cereal Day on March 7th, National Ranch Dressing Day on the 10th, Pie Day March 14th, National Puppy Day on the 23rd, Waffle Day on the 25th, and March 27th is National Viagra Day.
Well, that one I knew, yeah.
Yes.
I'm on it.
Okay. Coming up at 5:50, we do have your headlines, but first, Ted, have we made it to drinking time?
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the men's room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Quick time is here, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast an unidentified man from somewhere in Arizona. Now, police suspected that he might be driving under the influence or having a medical episode when they saw his vehicle veer off the road and crashed into a guardrail. Well, it turns out that he was, in fact, drunk. Now, the man himself, when the cops got there, he tried assuring cops that he was, quote, totally perfect. The thing is, he wasn't. And one of the pieces of evidence was that his finger was literally stuck in a can of White Claw. As you might imagine, it was literally stuck in the can of White Claw. Yeah, he was arrested and charged with DUI. He had some other charges as well, but yeah, that was their tip-off that, one, you're not totally perfect, and we no longer believe it's a medical episode.
Why was his finger in the can?
Man, I don't know why he had his finger in a can of White Claw in the first place, but he could not get the can off of his finger. So when he told the cops, like, I'm totally perfect. They're like, bro, your finger's stuck in a can of White Claw. Like, come on, man.
Nice.
Let's go. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bijola.
Your winner on a big Bad Choice Friday on the way next.
Yeah, sure thing. Hey, you sold that car yet?
Yeah, sold it to Carvana.
Oh, I thought you were selling to that guy.
The guy who wanted to pay me in foreign currency, no interest, over 36 months? Yeah, no. Carvana gave me an offer in minutes, picked it up, and paid me on the spot. It was so convenient.
Just like that.
Yeah?
No hassle.
None.
That is super convenient. Sell your car to Carvana and swap hassle for convenience. Pickup fees may apply.
So I actually tried Gemini a couple days ago, the Gemini Live where you can talk to it, and it is really crazy to have a full-on conversation with this thing. I was just messing around, so I asked it to give me ideas for hosting during the holidays. And when it starts giving you results, you can just stop it and say, okay, but what about something low-key for a smaller group? And then it adjusts to that, and you can just keep going until you get an idea you want. I think that's what I would use it for the most, brainstorming stuff. It's so good if you don't know where to start or if you hit a wall, you just go to Gemini. It helps you get the ball rolling. But obviously, you can use it for all kinds of stuff. If you want to learn something new, you can have it give you advice, ask it to explain Bitcoin in simple terms, or you can have it quiz you on microbiology. I mean, imagine being a student and you've got this personal tutor on hand. It's hard to explain. You really just have to play around with it, see how it listens to you, responds, adapts to your style of conversation. Just try it out. It's free.
Is your team at work feeling a little disconnected? Maybe the workflow's not flowing? Try Confluence by Atlassian. Confluence is the connected workspace where teams can create, organize, and deliver work like never before. In Confluence, teams can whiteboard their vision for any project, easily create or access the relevant pages and resources they need, and discover important context they might not even know they need. Plus, AI helps teams jumpstart brainstorms, organize information, and connect workflows, so teams can move efficiently and create alignment with ease. In fact, with Confluence, teams can see 5.2% average boost in productivity in 1 year. So if your team lacks confidence, try Confluence, the connected workspace where teams can do it all. Set knowledge free with Confluence. Learn more at Atlassian.com/confluence. That's Atlassian.com/CONFLUENCE.
Auto insurance rates are on the rise, which is why you should call Vern Fonk Insurance. Vern Fonk could save you up to 20% on your auto insurance. The pros at Vern Fonk will do all the work, comparing different plans to find you the best options. And they can insure you over the phone. One call to Vern Fonk could save you up to 20%. Call 206-408-5094. 206-408-5094.
Remember to honk when you drive by Vern Fonk.
Restrictions apply based on a Q3 2023 study of Vern Fonk insurance customers who reported saving when they switched. License number 1070622.
So I read in USA Today that the majority of people stop GLP-1 weight loss injection shots in a year. Now, what's concerning is if you get off GLP-1s, there's a real chance you can gain all the weight back. The solution? Alma said, a natural superfood protein shake. University studies show it optimizes your metabolism so you can lose weight easily, and Alma said it's been scientifically proven to preserve muscle mass. Use Alma said with GLP-1s or as a natural alternative. Find out more and see the university studies at almased.com. That's ALMASED.com.
I recently found out that you can see a personal dietitian covered by insurance. There's this platform called Nourish that will match you with a dietitian based on whatever your concerns are, whether that's weight loss, eating disorders, autoimmune conditions, or something else. They're actually a network with major insurance providers, so most patients pay $0 out of pocket. 94% of patients pay $0 out of pocket. Find your dietitian at usenourish.com. That's usenourish.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With nonstop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation by offering comfortable and spacious cabins. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
Are you a bartender that dreads the phrase, "Hey, can you put the game on?" At Sports on What, we understand your pain and we're here to help. Over-the-air, satellite, cable, or streaming, Sports on What knows what channel the game is on, and you can too. Follow your favorite teams, set alerts, and filter by provider to get the results you need. Stop wasting time searching and never miss kickoff again. Just download the Sports on What app, and you'll always know how to watch the game. Available for Android and iOS. Start your 7-day free trial when you download Sports on What and subscribe today.
Debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Now, Pro TV News all the time, and it's time for TV Time with Ted.
Damn right it is, Miles.
Yes.
I don't know why I'd have my own segment ready.
Matt, why do that? Why do that when you can be unprepared? I always like that, you know?
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
This gets busy this time of day, man.
It does.
All right. You guys have lived in different neighborhoods. Miles, I know you have for a long time, right? You bought a house when you were in your early 20s. You're good about that. Did you ever have any neighbors that were, like, off, but, like, you thought legit were bad?
Legit. I mean, I knew they were bad people, but I got along with them. I mean, I knew what they were up to. Not that that's bad. I knew what some of my neighbors were doing. And that was fine. I mean, like anything else, you just, hey, man, whatever you're into, you're into.
Right.
So this one neighbor, the first house I ever bought, all right, he had a satellite dish, and he had multiple TVs set up in his home on whatever he had, DirecTV or whatever. But he also had the porn channels. And he had these hooked up to he had a switch so that, or maybe he only had one box so that every TV showed the same channel.
Okay, all right.
He had no less than 8 TVs. He had like 2 in his garage, one in his kitchen, one on his back deck. He was that guy. He's like stereo guy, right? But he always had porn on. So every TV that he had turned on, anytime I went over there, I was like, Joe, he's like, I just keep it on, man, whatever this is.
I just keep it on.
Yes, he just kept it on. And,
First of all, just real quick, I've always wondered about that guy.
He's jet ski guy. He is boat guy. He is Maryland guy. He is fisherman guy. He never wears a shirt. His shirts that he does, like Duff, no sleeves. Mm-hmm. He's got a bass boat. He's got a speed boat. He's got everything you pull behind the
speedboat.
speedboat.
But he has porn on all the time.
All the time.
Right, like I watch porn to watch porn, but then it would seem odd just having it on in the background.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you go to the airport, they might have ESPN, they might have Fox, they might have CNN. The point is, like, sports or news, typically when it's just on, so, like, those are your go-tos, not porn.
When you went into his garage, he had every Snap-on calendar.
Sure, I get that.
It was never changed. It was just to the girl he liked the most. Yeah. So all the months were different. He also had centerfolds up, basically like wallpaper, on one entire wall. He had taken all the centerfolds out of the Playboy magazines he had and made them posters.
All right.
In his garage.
Well, because they folded out.
Yes, they did.
Yes.
3-leaf.
Correct. I remember that.
He also had one of the biggest couches that was leather that I'd ever seen. A huge. So when you walked into his living room, it was one of those wall TVs. I mean, the people were bigger than you. That's how big this television was. You're basically walking into a house of porn, and then you go into the refrigerator, and it's ketchup, mustard, and Coors Light. That's all he had. Like, he did not.
That makes sense. He probably fired up his grill once in a while, but that's about it.
Did I judge him? Yes. Was he fun to hang out with?
Yes. Yeah.
When you go out on a boat with him, did you have fun? Yes. Was he a weirdo? Yes.
All right. Did you have any neighbors that were, like, strict? That got on you?
No.
All right.
One in Wallingford, but Wallingford's tight ass.
All right. So I watched a show called Fear Thy Neighbor, right?
Oh, dude, that show's epic.
Oh, you've seen it?
Yes.
Obviously, it's pretty extreme.
It is that.
Yeah. So this episode was a special 2-hour episode, right? So I got home last night. It
was a 2-hour episode of Fear Thy Neighbor.
Correct.
I'm familiar with Fear Thy Neighbor. And listen, whatever the worst neighbor is you had, these people on this show are worse than that in a terrifying way. But typically, it is a 1-hour program. The fact that someone needed an extra hour to explain how horrible they are is terrifying to me.
Right, so I want to say they're outside of, like, Detroit or Cleveland, one of those kind of Rust Belt kind of cities or whatever. So the first hour is this guy, right? And he's a big, Baptist or whatever. So these people moving across the street. Now, he's about the same age, but he's got younger kids. And this guy he's a nice dude, right? So he brings in people that are going through trouble.
Okay.
Even out of prison, you could stay there or whatever. But these people that were staying there would always kind of hang out front and party.
This is the Baptist guy or the people that just moved in?
These are the people across the street.
Okay.
So now Goody Two-Shoes guy is getting really upset, right? And he's like, I know you guys are doing drugs and this and that. I mean, for the most part, it looks like they're smoking weed.
Yeah.
But he's getting annoyed. So then the neighbor who's hosting these people, right? And he's having fun with them too, but he's older. He's just like, look, I'm just trying to help them get back on their feet. Listen, seems like a bad idea. But he ends up buying an old minivan, and it's just like, okay, they're on the front porch. It's too loud. I'll get them a minivan. And basically, they could sit in the minivan and smoke and drink and do whatever, right? I don't think the minivan even works.
Right.
So they do this for a while, but this guy's getting angrier and angrier, right? And this guy has this complex that, like, he's in charge of this neighborhood.
Oh, boy.
So the first 40 minutes or whatever, basically, he ends up lighting this van on fire and then lights the neighbor's house on fire.
Dude, this show's crazy. Seriously, it's not like my neighbor's annoying.
The religious guy lit their house on fire?
Correct. But they can't prove it. So it's the same neighborhood. Now you fast forward another 5-10 years, this guy starts buying other houses in the neighborhood. He wants to buy another house. He doesn't get it. This couple gets it, right? And he's already basically mad, right? He's like, oh, they're going to be bad people or whatever. So same thing, right? It's a little different in the fact that, like, the wife has a really good job. Her ex-husband lives in this neighborhood too, right? But she married this guy. He's kind of like, all right, they have like 6 kids now, right? She already had 2. They have 4. So he does stuff on the side, but he's basically like, took the opposite role. And it's like, I'll stay home with the kids. So I guess he, like, this, was known to sell a little weed. And these are the cops talking about it.
Okay.
So the guy that thinks he runs this neighborhood, right? He's talking about God put him in charge of this neighborhood. Now he sees this guy and he's like, they're doing bad stuff. Basically, it sounds like it sounds like your family. It sounds like kind of standard suburban nice guy, right? On Sundays after church, guess what? People come over.
Sure.
They grill, like the brother saying, the actual brother is saying, he's like, look, it's one of those houses. You come over on Sunday. He goes, you might have a beer or two, but he's like, basically, you eat as much as you want. He's going to be on the grill.
By the way, the guy went to church just like the guy across the street.
Correct. Yeah, they're all going to church too. They're singing, dancing, having fun, but it's nothing too crazy. But this guy is so worked up in his head. He's convinced himself, like, these kids are doing drugs and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Now, keep in mind, the wife, again, her husband lives in this neighborhood. He had done horrible things to this woman. He had lit her on fire once.
Jesus.
So now there's another fire, but again, they don't suspect Goody Two-Shoes guy because her ex-husband lives down the street. I'm telling you, it's a very good show, but it is beyond disturbing. Miles, it gets to a point. This guy ends up lighting their house on fire. They can't get out.
With kids inside.
Correct. They all perish.
Oh, my God.
It's one of the deadliest fires in this county ever. Right? And that guy's doing 20 to 40 years right now for murder and everything else. But, like, the first guy that got killed by the fire, his son's like, thank God. He's like, look, the first group of people, he's like, look, we weren't the best people. But he's like, there was no reason to light my dad's house on fire.
Right.
And have him burned to death. So just insanity. And it's like, right, like, basically what I took for that show last night, it's like, all right, yeah, you go to church, but, like, you're just as bad.
It doesn't
well,
make
you're
church
worse.
good.
You're killing people.
That means you go to church. Right. Going to church just means you go to church. It never speaks to your character, right? I mean, and that's the truth of it. That show is effed up all the time.
It is.
What network? Is that Netflix?
No, it's like one of the Discoveries or History.
It's on Discovery. Sometimes it's on, like, National Geographic. I want to say Max has them on demand. But, like, basically, you get into those channels where you get History, National Geographic, American Heroes channel.
That's where I hover. I'm always like that section of the. Look, I'm old, man, so that's the crap I'm going to watch. Either something story, something scientific, or something to realize that your neighbor might be a serial killer. But the thing about that show is it's not that you move into a neighborhood and you find out that your neighbor's a serial killer. It's that whatever the conflict was that they concentrate on is specifically about the neighbors.
Okay.
Right? So they were otherwise a normal person, and then whatever happened or whatever someone perceived to have happened, it goes real south and it's real bad.
Some of it is just, Miles, like people that were friends, and then one neighbor builds a fence that technically is a little bit on the fence.
Did you see that one?
Yes.
Good God! Again, you just go like, okay, I understand the people, 3 inches off the property line, and for the most part, you're like, I don't care. It's fine. Some people, this is a true, deep, passionate issue, and they will kill you.
I will say the biggest dust up I ever saw, right? So I grew up in College Park, Maryland. But obviously there's a lot of houses in my neighborhood that be rented by college kids. So our dog Tigger, full disclosure, he could bark a lot, right? So he'd be out in the front yard. So this one kid across the street kept getting real worked up and, like, leaving notes and this and that. So one day we're out there It's like me and my dad. Here comes this guy strolling across the street, right? So my dad's like, oh, here we go. He's all fired up. And he says something to the effect of like, I'm studying for a test, blah, blah, blah. Now, I told you my dad could be insane, but he also was funny and had a quick tongue. So he just kind of looks at him and goes, well, I already don't like you, but you must be an effing moron. It's July. Why are you studying for a test? That guy punched him.
So that's your dad.
Yes. It is. My dad was just like, I'm on my property. Don't, like, you're not going to do anything. Don't come over here. And he's like, I'm trying to study for a test. My dad was like, I don't like you, but you must be pretty effing dumb, too. Like, why are you in summer school? Now, granted, college courses, a lot of people take the eye down. And that guy didn't miss a beat. Yeah, and it was one of those things, too. As soon as that guy punched him, like, right, he's 20. My dad was probably 50. Like, my dad drops. That guy turns around and runs in the house. Then the cops show up, like the whole 9 yards. But that was about the most extreme I ever saw. And those were people that kind of rotated out.
Ted, I almost got that. My neighbor in Wallingford, Chewy, had separation anxiety. I get home one day after work. The wife's not there at the time. Chewy is barking. I open the door. I put her leash on. I'm going to take her for a walk immediately. As soon as I start, walking up the walkway, he comes out, and he is ready to go. Yeah. And I'm like, man, I got home as fast as I could. How long has she been barking? And I could not get a reasonable answer from him, period. And he lost his freaking mind. And I'm like, am I going to have to knock this guy out? I'm like, is it? It was so insane, and I had to live by him for like 3 or 4. He still lives in that home. He is still he's a teacher in King County. He's a miserable human being. I don't know if the kids have gotten him beaten down. He is just absolutely miserable, and he wanted to fight me every single time. And I thought to myself,
fight you? How does that solve the problem?
This is a public educator. This guy is a teacher. He is nuts. He's off his rocker. Like, I cannot believe
how would
he takes
fighting
care of
me get your issues? The dog
right,
barking.
The dog
so say
barking. I'm not home.
You beat my ass, right? So, and you win this fight, hands down. The dog is still going to bark. So since you do teach, I'm just saying, sometimes connect the dots.
He does know we're nuts.
I think, look, you have issues with neighbors sometimes.
Sure.
Like, I've lived in so many apartments. Like, sometimes, like, the apartments, just the way they are set up different. Like, I had one basement, not basement, it was ground floor, but it was all cement walls and ceilings. So, I mean, we could rage in there. Nobody would hear it. Then you move into some other neighbors, but I think you kind of learn that line of, like, what's acceptable and what's not, and you try to be respectful. But, I mean, if you just throwing parties every night and pissing off your neighbors.
No, it wasn't that. He would send a letter every day or fill out the online form for King County on a noise complaint on an animal. Every day I could go to my mailbox and guarantee that he had filled out another complaint. We had talked to them and said, the actual King County noise complaint people.
Right, like it's a rescue.
Like, this guy is excessive to a point of being ridiculous. And, this is way too much. We're not taking away your dog, all this crap. None of this is going to happen. He was just, once he got into that mode, he was relentless. Drove my wife absolutely crazy. I think he threatened to fight her, too.
What?
At least a couple times. So, and by the way, he's an educator. Science teacher.
Biggest issue I had with neighbors, it was the first house that my wife and I owned in Greenwood. And we were down at the Super Bowl. So I'm in New Orleans. And it was like 3 college girls rented this house. And for the most part, they were decent. But they would throw a party. But they're in college. So 8 million people would show up.
Yeah.
And my wife calls me and says, man, I guess there was a fight among 2 of the dudes that were there. Anyway, they knocked down our fence. And I said, well, you just need to explain to them that they need to make sure it's back up. So I guess my wife talked to them, and their whole thing was like, look, we're college kids, man. We don't have a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. So my wife conveys that back to me. And they know that I live there. Now I said, okay, explain it to them like this. I don't care what they do to get that thing back up, but I'll be back with Monday, I guess it was, from the Super Bowl. If that S is not reconstructed by the time my plane lands and I get home, they're going to deal with me. Sure enough, I get home, the fence was back up. I don't know what they did, but I'm like, perfect. And after that, they were very kind, very cordial.
Well,
yeah. I was like, look, I don't care what you have to do, but it's your responsibility.
I think that show would stress me out.
Fear thy neighbor.
Yes.
But I will throw a little test, though. It's so extreme.
Right.
This is unlikely to happen.
Everyone's had horrible neighbors, so that just conjures
Not
up.
like this, man.
Like, I'm getting mad right now just thinking about that jackass. Like, it just brings out the worst in me because I'm like, thank God I don't live by him anymore, but it's still like, I wonder if he still lives there. I'll burn his house down.
Yeah, again, I feel like a lot of people can deal with stuff, but like you never know. And whenever you're inside a neighborhood, it's just there's weird people all over the place.
There are.
I mean, I could tell you a story about one of my buddies and his neighbor that he barely talked to showed up on his deck one day, completely hammered at like 8 p.m. It's like, my wife is cheating on me. And then he just started showing up, and finally my buddy was like, hey, man, I got 3 kids. Like, you got to go, like, talk to somebody else.
Right. Yeah.
Like, he's like, first of all, I barely know you.
That is weird, man.
Oh, we had so much fun with that one. All right, let's see. What are you going to do? What are you going to do and watch this weekend? It's unreal. And be careful in your own neighborhood. Let's see. You got a lot of good college hoops on this weekend. You got hockey back in action. I know if you like racing, IndyCar, which is kind of interesting. IndyCar now has a contract with Fox.
Oh, really?
So Fox always has NASCAR for years. So I think they're going to start putting like IndyCar races and NASCAR like back to back.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Like
Greg,
corner the market. If you're going to be the network that shows auto racing, just corner the market.
next thing you know, Gregor at the end, he'll be driving a Chevrolet.
I think the main thing they're trying to get F1 has had such a boom in popularity.
Yeah.
So like I thoroughly enjoy watching IndyCar. I'll watch NASCAR, but it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So I guess instead of competing, you're just trying to get all the race fans on one channel for the day.
Okay. Exactly.
Let's see. Saturday Night Live should be pretty good this week. Your host will be Shane Gillis. Musical guest is Tate McRae. Whew. I'm not positive I know her music, but good gracious.
Is she that good looking?
Yeah. Like shockingly good looking. Let's see. Sunday, you got a bunch of stuff back on TV. If you want to check that out, like Miles said, you have the Oscars. That'll be on ABC and Hulu. Family Guy's back. Yellow Jackets is back. Suits LA is back. You can check out all that stuff. Sunday night, you'll have a brand new episode also of The White Lotus.
Ooh.
Yeah, man. But
Wasn't that your superhero name?
The White Lotus?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think so. I still want to be the White Shadow.
The White Shadow. It's already been taken, man.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there was only one season of The White Shadow, and outside of me and you and my brother, not too many people know that show existed.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. When that pipe starts to trickle and you're in a real pickle, call Pinky. When that burst pipe starts to smell ripe, call Pinky. When your water heater's shot and it won't get hot, call Pinky. When you get home to a flood, call your best bud. Pinky's Plumbing to the rescue. No job is too big or too small. Pinky's does it all. So when your plumbing backs up and things get stinky, call Pinky's. Pinky'sPlumbing.com.
Hiring is a lonely business. Posting jobs, sifting through resumes, interviews with unqualified applicants, being ghosted. What if you could link with dozens of qualified candidates who are ready to work right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, the workforce you need. Problem solved. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
What is Dax, are you?
Tracking all our cars on Carvana Value Tracker on all our devices? Yes, Kristen, yes, I am.
Well, I've been looking for my phone for...
In Dax's domain, we see all. So we always know what our cars are worth.
All of them?
All of them. Value surge, trucks up 3.9%.
That's a great offer.
I know. Sell?
Sell.
Track your car's value with Carvana Value Tracker today.
Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Fun times as now flying the friendly skies is becoming more of a game of dodgeball. A King County infant is the first case of measles in Washington and can't even crawl. Brush up on your English as a new executive order says it's now the official language of the United States. Time to use a new service if you're using Skype for online video dates. And Mexican officials say they don't know anything about Fire Festival 2. It's time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
Live! It is not Mike Hawk. It is Steve the Thrill Hill. Let us start with a little conversation about measles. You probably heard that in Texas, the measles cases have approached 150 in the ongoing West Texas outbreak. And not just measles in Texas. They have now, and keep in mind, one of the measles cases has taken the life of an infant. Well, now they have their first confirmed case of rubella. That would be in San Antonio, and it was in an area school. If only we had a vaccine for
or just a cure.
Meanwhile, here in King County, they have confirmed that an infant right here in King County, the first baby to have measles in Washington State. And if you don't know, measles is highly contagious, potentially severe disease. This according to the Public Health Seattle and King County. Now, the virus, it's airborne. It spreads easily when an infected person breathes, sneezes, or coughs. And in this case, the infant, they say, visited several King County public locations before the diagnosis, potentially exposing others.
Like 4 hospitals.
And measles can spread before symptoms appear, and the virus can linger in the air for how long after an infected person leaves the area, if you had to guess? 2 hours. 2 hours.
Good times.
Yeah, come on, man. Use your head. All right. If it seems like the friendly skies have gotten more terrifying lately, you might be right. An American Airlines flight arriving at Reagan National Airport forced to abort its landing to avoid another aircraft. This is less than a month after a mid-air collision killed 67 people near the exact same airport, and 90 minutes before a close call between a passenger plane and a private jet in Chicago. Now, these incidents came as officials are investigating a string of safety incidents in recent weeks, including the deadly mid-air collision over the Potomac, a medevac jet crash in Philadelphia, and a regional airline crash off the coast of Nome, Alaska that killed 10 people. And then last week, a Delta plane crashed while landing in Toronto, flipping upside down as a wing engulfed in flames broke away from the fuselage. But in that case, all 80 people on board survived. Now, the most recent incident at the airport, this happened around 8:20 in the morning on American Airlines Flight 2246 en route from Boston. It was preparing to land. Now, air traffic control, they instructed the American Airlines flight to perform a go-around to ensure separation was maintained between this aircraft and the preceding departure from the same runway. So a go-around, if you don't know, it's a routine maneuver that allows the aircraft to safely make an alternate landing at the discretion of a pilot or at the request of the air traffic controller. But the plane that was preparing to take off, it was moving, but still on the runway by the time the flight 2246 started its go-around. Eventually, it did land safely. So, hey, land on this runway. Oh, wait a minute, man. There's still a plane on the runway. All right, in case you didn't know, for the first time in history, the United States will get an official language. Most people did not know this. We've never had an official language. Well, we do as of today. The president is expected to sign an executive order to establish English as the official language. Now, it will be up to individual federal agencies to decide whether services in other languages will be offered. The administration has already erased the White House's Spanish language website and the Spanish language X account. A White House fact sheet claims that establishing English as a national language, quote, strengthens the fabric of our society by promoting unity, civic engagement, and efficiency in government operation, and encourages new Americans to adopt a national language and opens doors for greater opportunities. Can't really argue with that. Esa historia de nuevo el inglés será de idioma oficial de los Estados Unidos. Dios bendiga America. I just said, once again, to repeat the story, if English is the official language. So I want to let other people know.
Sure. It's a big day.
Here's something that I wish would happen to me that never has. A Citigroup client, it was supposed to receive $280. $280. He was credited with enough money to pay off the national debt twice over. The customer was credited $81 trillion.
Wow, what a day.
$81 trillion in an error that was missed by 2 employees, but luckily caught by a third.
And I'm out.
About an hour and a half after it was processed. Now, sources say it took several hours to reverse the payment. No funds actually left the bank. Now, the bank said its, quote, detective controls promptly identified the inputting error, probably because it said $81 trillion. Anyway, the same controls would have stopped the funds from leaving the bank. The sum, probably too big to make it through any bank system, would have been more than enough to buy all of the companies on the United States stock market. Think about that. Now, according to an internal report, there were 10 what they call near misses of $1 billion or more, which are very unusual in the banking industry, at Citigroup alone last year. But the good news is that's down from 13 the previous year. So apparently you want to bank at Citigroup, they might accidentally just hand you a ton of money. Anyone here use Skype ever?
No.
Skype.
No, I'm a Zoom guy.
You're a Zoom guy? Well, good, because almost a quarter century after kickstarting the market for making calls over the internet, Skype is dropping like one of the early video calls. The phone and video service started in 2003. It will be ending on Cinco de Mayo, also known as May 5th. This according to Microsoft. Keep in mind, Microsoft bought Skype for $8.5 billion.
All right.
And now they're getting rid of it.
Wow.
I mean, and I know it's stuff like Zoom and FaceTime, Google Meet,
8.5 million or billion?
Billion with a B, man. Think about that. You spent $8.5 billion.
That startup is had a group of kids.
Hey, man, they made out.
Yeah, exactly.
They made out.
You do with it what you will. Thanks for doing that.
We go to North Carolina, well, the Monroe Police Department. They released a 911 call related to a man being locked in a storage unit by his girlfriend over the weekend. So on Monday, they received a call from a man stating that he had been locked in a storage unit since last week. He told the 911 operator, quote, "I've been locked in a storage unit for about a week now, and I just found my phone." So the 911 operator asked, so you're locked in a storage unit? He says, "Yes, my girlfriend locked me in here. She doubled up my lock, and I don't know how she put me in here, but she put me in here, and I just now found my phone inside of the storage unit. I have been here since last week." So the man and his girlfriend, one Robin Deaton, they'd gotten into an argument about who knows what before he was locked inside. Now, allegedly, she closed the door to the unit behind her and then locked it from the outside. So the man had been locked in the storage unit since last Thursday. He was rescued on Monday, but he said the problem was he couldn't find his phone because it was pitch black and there's so much crap inside of the storage unit.
Apparently, it was like a hoarder's unit.
Yeah, so when he finally found his phone...
Oh, then he backed out of saying that she did that. And then they said, no, we have enough proof.
We have enough proof.
Because she admitted to it.
And then finally, real quick, remember the Fire Festival? They're doing a Fire Festival, too. Don't go.
Yeah.
It, too, is a scam.
Bitches, have a great weekend. Lovely Jolene's up next.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until Monday, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Look, we're all human. We push-pull doors, we blow on ice cream to cool it down, and sometimes we forget to check our blind spots. That's why the 2025 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid offers class-leading advanced safety features. Like an available blind spot view monitor, which shows you a live video feed of your blind spots. Because the Tucson Hybrid is made for humans who are just that, human. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for details.
This podcast is brought to you by Kleenex Lotion Tissues. You can't predict sick days, but with Kleenex Lotion Tissues, you can be better prepared for them while helping keep your skin healthy. Whether it's a surprise sneeze or a stuffy nose, it's always good to have something gentle on hand. Kleenex Lotion Tissues moisturize to help prevent skin irritation while you're battling those unwanted cold and flu symptoms. It's extra care when you need it most. I mean, why not have one less thing to worry about when you're not feeling your best? For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
If you're thinking about GLP-1s for weight loss, listen up. You must make sure you're maintaining your muscle mass while you're losing weight. Otherwise, you can slow your metabolism and regain the weight. Almacid, a natural superfood protein shake, has been scientifically proven to preserve muscle mass. It optimizes and supercharges your metabolism so you can lose weight easily. Use Almacid with GLP-1s or as a natural alternative. Find out more and see the university studies at almacid.com. That's ALMASED.com.
Is your team at work feeling a little disconnected? Maybe the workflow's not flowing? Try Confluence by Atlassian. Confluence is the connected workspace where teams can create, organize, and deliver work like never before. In Confluence, teams can whiteboard their vision for any project, easily create or access the relevant pages and resources they need, and discover important context they might not even know they need. Plus, AI helps teams jumpstart brainstorms, organize information, and connect workflows, so teams can move efficiently and create alignment with ease. In fact, with Confluence, teams can see 5.2% average boost in productivity in 1 year. So if your team lacks confidence, try Confluence, the connected workspace where teams can do it all. Set knowledge free with Confluence. Learn more at Atlassian.com/confluence. That's ATLASSIAN.com/CONFLUENCE.